things in this business that maybe would not be fitting for to buy or sell, but would be good listings. Right? I'm going to share some things with you that are incredible, really, and we'll see what y'all, what you do with it. It's up to you. There's a, we're not officially started yet, David, but
That's all right, we'll listen.
Yeah, well, listen.
we're just talking.
Yeah.
We're just talking. I worked for a guy who was a retired Marine captain when I first started in the business. I was 24 years old. I had a little baby son, and he owned St. Augustine Realty. He started St. Augustine Realty, and I went to work for him. A friend of mine had told me about it, you know, and was working for him, was moving back to Palatka and opened his own office in Palatka, and left a job opening there. And so he cussed, screamed, yelled, pitched, fit. He was a tyrant, but he was a good teacher for me. You know, I was straight off the Hastings. And, hey, come in here. Y'all find a seat. If y'all will switch around, let them sit where they want to sit together.
Sorry, I dropped my newspaper real good for so I finished the clouds.
Oh, you're good. We're not started yet. We're just
She's like, I'm gonna clear my stuff out.
You can use that chair.
Me?
You can use that chair too if you want.
Yeah, swing, there's two spots right here. You guys can get another chair. You can sit right there. You can sit right up front. Yeah.
Thank you.
Go for it. Yeah.
Appreciate it much.
Yeah, no worries.
You look like you got the best seat in the house.
Yeah, it was me.
I got to tell you on one thing that's always kept me going. And we've been through all kind of things, which I'm going to tell you a little bit of the 54-year story. I won't bore you with the whole thing. But we came up with this another little slogan: "Love is forever." Okay, that's the only thing that I know is forever. And everything else changes, but that doesn't change if you really feel that way, and that's what's in your heart, and that's what's there. And so we want everybody to believe about themselves and the people that you impact. Okay, there's one thing you can do for anybody: just show them love. Okay, just encourage them and be that person that maybe our personality wasn't meant to be that way, but we learned to do it. And so it's served me well. And whether it suits anybody else or not, I don't know, but it has served me well. Up on the screen, and you probably ask, why did you start here? That's my secretary said yesterday. She said we set this up. I'm not a techie and far from it, but he set this up for me, and she said, why would you start with this slide? And my answer is, if you don't get this, and you don't change this, and you don't adapt to this, then all the rest of it doesn't make any difference. You see, you've heard people say, and I'm going to say it over and over, and I am the example of what not to do in many cases, is until you master this, okay, you really haven't, no matter how much money you make. My daddy was not a businessman at all, but he was a great guy, my vet and my hunting buddy. And he used to tell me, when I first got started in this business, I guess we started, I first got started in this business, I was a good salesman. But prior to that, when I got out of high school in Hastings, Florida in 1958, I went that night, I left home and went with my sister and her brother and her husband over in Gainesville. Went to and I worked at the University of Florida that summer, just saved money, and I went to Nashville, Tennessee, and went to Auto Diesel College. I was going to be a diesel engine mechanic, which I did. Well, that came back home, and I was trying to get a job with the Florida East Coast Railroad, working on the big train engines, which took me a couple of years. So I worked out at Fairchild, which is no longer Fairchild, but it's there. And so when I finally did get a job at the railroad, to use the training I'd gotten up in Nashville. And you talk about work. If you want something bad enough, you can do it. I went up there, weighed 185 pounds. I came home, I weighed 135 pounds. I went to school 9 hours. I worked 9 hours a day in the fiberglass boat factory and went to school 6 hours a night. So I didn't need much time for partying in Nashville, Tennessee. So anyway, but I live next door to an old guy, and you know, he changed my life. He doesn't, I can't even think of his name now, but I rented from him. And we were in New Smyrna. I had to go to New Smyrna to work for this railroad. And he said to me, he used to come over every day, you got to get out of this railroad, and Terry, you got to get into real estate, you got to get out of there. And he said,
Wow.
and he said, my son was in the railroading business for years, and he hit the Cape Canaveral area when it was just getting started, and he made a lot of money. And by the way, a lot of money's going to call us in a few minutes, and I'm going to put him on the speakerphone.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of money, not that lot of money, but one that started his business career with us. And he's 37 years old, and he's a mega multi-millionaire. Okay? And he is,
I got 2
he's
years to
gone
be a
way
mega
past the
millionaire.
teacher. He's gone way past the teacher. He started when he was 21. This boy named Marty McCoy. He's going to call here in a little while.
Wow.
I'll put him on speakerphone. I was hoping he could come down today and visit with us because he's an inspiration to anybody that gets around him. It doesn't matter where you are. He's proved the point. It doesn't make any difference where you are. All right. If you get this part, and he got it. He got it. He got it right off the bat. He just got it. He nailed it. I had another guy that, and came to work for me. He's from Crescent City. I had a little office in Satsuma, Florida now, out in the middle of nowhere. And he came to work for us as an agent there. He worked for a few years, and he decided that that area wasn't big enough for him. He had aspirations. He went to Jacksonville. He called me one day. He said, he stayed in touch with me all the time. He's like his son, you know. He said, Terry, he said, I'm gonna start cleaning out houses. It was a recession then, you know, hit the real estate market, and when he first year he did $4.5 million in sales in Crescent City, okay, in that area. So he made a good living, but he saved his money. It was unique, and the red book is called the 10-10 Plan: How to Buy 10 Houses, how to find 10 houses, how to buy 10 houses, how to pay for 10 houses, and how to retire with $10,000 a month income, and how anybody can do it. We're going to talk about it today. You can do it if you want to. If it don't happen for you, don't blame it on me, blame it on you, okay? Because anybody can do it. But he got it. This boy got it. So when he was doing good selling real estate, he was living at home with his parents, driving an old pickup truck. He saved his money. So he came to me one day and he said, Terry, he said, calls me Terry W. He said, Wayne's my middle initial. Terry, you got that? Call me Terry W. He said, all right. He said, Terry W., I'm ready to buy my first house. Come in. Yeah, there's our man. We got you a seat way around here at the front. We're trying to keep eyes on you.
Sorry for being so
Good
rude.
morning, Jerome. You could sit over
You can sit back there, Jerome, wherever you want to sit back. Be with the man.
Love your hat.
Now, push that door too a little bit, so that, I don't want, yeah, they gotta be able to see me, I mean, goodness.
We need a copy of the tape, that's what.
So anyway, so he came to me, he said, Terry W., he said, I need to buy a house. He said, I want to get started on my 10-10 plan. Now, we taught that whole book to him, you know, of the agents, but he got hold of that. So he came to me and said, I found a house, I'm going to buy it, FHA, it's FHA. And so he had the money saved up, and he had good credit, and he bought a house. But he came to me and said, the house has got a little cottage on the same lot. He said, I'm going to live in that cottage. He was single. He said, I'm going to live in that cottage, and I'm going to rent the house out, and I'm going to live rent-free, you know, he said. So just before he closed, he came to me and said, Terry W., he said, I'm going to rent the cottage out and rent 2 of the rooms to my buddies, and he said, I'm not only going to rent free, he said, I'm going to make a profit. And I thought, damn, that don't sound like anybody ever heard before. So guys, he took that on though, and he went on, and he owns many, many properties today, and he started cleaning out houses up there when the market crunch. He called me up, he said, I got a utility trailer, I'm going to start cleaning out houses for these foreclosures that were coming in. By the way, foreclosure is what I mentioned it here in St. Johns County, our affluent county. Since November, there's been about 250 brand-new foreclosures filed, and here's the point. Most of them are 16 and north, where you would not believe it. A lot of them in Ponte Vedra. So nobody's immune from this, guys, okay? Now, nobody's immune from this. So, he took that on to call me up one day and said, gosh, he said, you know, the people that's making the money up here is doing the repairs on these houses. He said, I'm gonna get into this construction. I said, Marty, son, you can't even spell construction. He said, I'm gonna take this course. I'm gonna get my broker's license. My builder's license. And I said, well, you go for it, Marty. So he said, well, I've got a buddy. He said, he's got a license, and we're going to go ahead and set up an LLC, and I get my license, and, you know. So he called me one day, he said, Terry, Debbie, guess where I am? I said, my God, son, I have no idea where are you. He said, I am on my way to Fort Lauderdale. He said, I've got a meeting with the head of Fannie Mae for the state of Florida. He said, the one that picks the contractors. And I thought, okay. So I said, have you got your resume? He said, yeah. I went and hired a professional resume writer to write me a resume. This boy just barely got out of high school.
Wow.
He has no college degree, no training, not whatsoever. So when he left there on his way back, he called me and said, Terry W., guess what? I said, what? He said, that man, I believe he's going to give me some business. This boy's in his 20s. At this time, he was in his 20s. Well, guys, long story short, he went back to Jacksonville. He got his contractor's license. He called me. He said, surely that man called me and he's going to give me some business. He said, so I get started doing some contracting work for these realtors. They have to go to, they assign them to a realtor, and the realtor has to get bids. He said, I did. And wasn't long before they gave him some business, and he got started, and I guess he learned, and he was smart, and the next thing you know, he must have done a good job, because they called him and gave him a bigger territory. And the next thing you know, he was all over the state of Florida. He had 80 employees in an office. He was operating, he had 450 vendors all over the state of Florida. And that kid set that all up by himself. He was smart enough to go get a good lawyer, good CPA, and good people with business experience to guide him and direct him, and he is going, anyway. So he's probably going to call in here in a little while, and that's the only call I'll take unless it's my wife. I will take the boss's call.
What was the name of his business?
Huh?
What's the name of his business?
What's his name?
No, the name of the business that he set up.
It's the North Florida Field Services. But since then, he's done much more. He called me one day and said, I got some money. He said, now, I trust you and I want to do business with you. I want you to find us some deals and I'll put up some money. And I said, okay. So we bought 119 acres on the other side of the interstate. I asked him, I said, how much money are you talking about? He said, well, I got $1 million in savings, and I'm about to put the $2 million in savings. And so the rest of it is history. That's all I can tell you.
Wow.
He owns that 119 acres. He's been offered $5 million for it. We bought it. I bought it out of a foreclosure from a bank for $750,000. And so he bought my interest out eventually. So he's going to do it. But I'm just telling you what can be done. He's an extreme case. Got one other one that I'll tell you, and then we'll get started in the real business. I had a guy come to work with us one time, he and his brother. And so, this is why I know anybody can do this. He got it. He saw the vision of what could be done. He had seen enough from infomercials on TV and everything, and he got it, okay? We would give him, my daughters started before computers doing research work in the courthouse, looking up foreclosures, okay? Now, my 35-year secretary does it right here in the office. And every week, we would give him those leads. I would have to drive to 210 to meet him at 210 to give him gas money, okay? And I would go meet him at 210 to give him gas money and give him his leads for the week. He would go knock on every door that day, okay? Every lead you gave him, he would knock on that door that day, all right? There was no procrastination, no putting it off, no no nothing. He was, of course, he's big and muscular and just a nice young man. But his brother worked with us too. His brother did nothing, and this boy got rich. All right. So he eventually left, went back to Phoenix, or from Arizona, where he was from. I hadn't talked to him in years, and finally figured out where he was and called him up a while back, and he said, "I got to tell you something. You changed my life." I said, "I changed your life?" He said, "Yep, you and your family changed my life." And he said, "What I learned from you, when I got to Arizona," he said, "I was prepared to start buying and selling houses." He said, "I bought and sold over 800 houses." He said, "I own 120 now." You're talking about broke. And he said, "I own 120, and he owns Desperado Plumbing Service." He said, "I started that, and I've got 30 employees and 22 trucks," and he said, "We have that." So I'm just telling you what can happen from a few seeds. But these guys did something that the other 99% of the people will not do, won't do, can't do, won't do, okay? And they can't do because they won't do. But I'm going to give it to you easy today, and I'm going to ask you to zero in on it and believe what we say, because we don't have to do what we're doing today, and we're not charging for it on purpose, because my whole goal is to build a team. If you want to be on our team, you read the book and you do what we suggest you do at the end of the course. And the course is a 40-hour course, and we typically charge $4,000 to $5,000 just to do the course. But I'm not selling courses today, all right? I'm not selling courses today. I'm not selling you anything. I'm going to give you what I'm giving you, the books and all. And I'm asking you to take this information and use it to your advantage, and hopefully with us, that we can do joint venture deals together. I'm involved probably in 25 right now, okay? Some of them are real money makers, and some of them are, but we learned how to do something, and I'm going to show you all that today. I saw this one time. I didn't originate this, but I saw it. It got me. Do I live by this? The answer is no. Should I live by this? The answer is yes. Would I be much better off if I had lived by this? And the answer is yes. So I'm telling you, it's hard to do, but it's time for all of us to do it. If you're going to get a mortgage on a house today, they will approve you up to 45% on your this and 50% on that and so forth. And then you'll see all the foreclosures like it's going on all over North Florida. All right. So what we did was, I went to a Amway convention one time years ago, and I absolutely loved it. This little bitty guy is about this big. He lives up in Palm Valley, Palm Valley. He's as rich as he can be. He's made millions in the network marketing business. But he's on the stage. There's 5,000 people in the room. I mean, it's amazing, and it looked like a boxing ring. He was up there, going around and around the ring. There's a great, big, nice, brand new television sitting up there, and he had a sledgehammer. And he said, he's the first one I ever heard say anything about the 40-30-10-10-10 plan. He said, this TV, what do you do when you go home in the afternoon? He said, what do you do? He said, I bet you sit down and watch TV till time to go to bed. He said, is that what you do? Is that what you do? He said, the TV is robbing you of your joy. It's robbing you of your future. It's robbing you of everything that's good for you. It's robbing you, folks. It's robbing you. Quality family time, it is. Do I watch TV every day? Yes, I do. But anyway, but he came up with this, and I thought, my goodness, what does this mean? 40-30-10-10 plan. He said, live by it, and you'll be very wealthy. He said, you can only afford to spend, and this is a critical thing, folks, you can only afford to spend about 40% of your entire budget, not to make your mortgage payment and the taxes and insurance, but to pay your electric bill and your phone bill and your water bill and all the other things, everything related to your house. If you're spending more than 40% of your money on doing that, you are screwing up, okay? All right? You're robbing yourself of your joy. You're going to make the rest of your plan not work for you. So think about that. I'm asking you to do this. This is an exercise for you, not for me. When you go home today, you sit down and write down how much income you make, how much income comes in your house every month, and how much you spend on housing for taxes, insurance, some maintenance factor, whatever this house costs, groceries, electric bill, water bill, the whole 9 yards. and tell them, and see what percentage of your income you're spending for that. So far? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, because you have now 30% to pay to send your kids to school, to buy insurance for your car, to pay for your car, to pay all of your other expenses. If you're spending more than that, you're robbing another part of your plan. It's called a 40-30-10-10-10 plan, and we're going to cover the whole thing. Now, when you get home, write that down. How much money are you paying for your car, for your insurance, all about it? How much are you paying, okay? Because if you're out of balance here, I'm going to show you today how to fix it. The whole goal is to fix it. Nobody's perfect, but it's the time to fix it, okay? And we can all fix it if we want to.
We're getting a long
10%.
day.
10% giving. If you spend too much on the 40 and the 30, you're not going to have anything to give. My mother told me something. My mother grew up the hard way. She grew up in South Georgia. There was 14 kids. Never had electricity or running water in the house the whole time she grew up. So, but when she finally got a hold of tithing, she told me, she said, Terry, I've not been broke since I did it. And she said, I believe that you can't outgive God. And she was a giver. You know, she was one of those people that was a giver. She didn't have anything. But she bought a lot on the St. Johns River for $2,000 60-some 70 years ago, and she kept it her whole life. And she paid the taxes on it when she could hardly do it. I got her in the real estate business, and she's my greatest story. And I got her in the real estate business, and she only had 11th grade education, and she said, I can't do that. You know, she said, I can't do it. I said, yes, you can, Mom. She was working at the Hastings High School, running the cafeteria and driving the school bus to work, run the cafeteria, drive the school bus back.
Wow.
On the weekends, she came over to St. Augustine and was a waitress in what used to be a restaurant on the corner of 16 and US 1. But she said, that she was willing to work. Now, 10% for savings. Now, not last, not first, but last is 10% for spending and having fun. 99% of us have it completely backwards. Okay? We got it backwards, guys. We're spending money for fun, we're spending money for housing, we're spending money for cars, have no money for tithe, and we have no money for savings, okay? We are spending the money wrong. That's why I started with this today, because if we don't get a hold of this, it doesn't make any difference. Like my dad said to me, Terry, it's not how much money you make, son, it's how much you save. And I thought, well, he didn't know anything about this, son, what I'm doing, you know, I got in real estate. He didn't know anything about that. He's not a real estate, you know, he's not a business guy at all. My dad was right. When I see him again, I got to go out and tell him, give him a big hug, and say, Dad, you were totally right, okay? You were right. My young friend, Marty McCoy, got a hold of it. He got a hold of the plan. He got a hold of the program. You can't spend more than you make. If you do, you're going to go broke, okay? And once you go broke, it's hard to overcome. But today, I got good news for everybody. I don't care if you're rich or poor. We can do what I'm going to show you today, okay? It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't matter. Now, so 10% for savings. What does that mean? I'm saving for a car? No, it doesn't mean that. It means it's going away for your retirement, because you're going to get to be 78 years old if God gives you a long life like He has me. You're going to get there, and if you get there like we are, and you have it prepared yourself, you're going to be old and broke, and that's why 99% of my realtor friends are going to be old and broke. 99% of them are going to be old and broke. 99% of individual contractors are going to be old and broke when they get old, because they make money, they spend money, and they don't save it. So where did we come up with the 10-10 plan? That's the birthing of the 10-10 plan, okay? So we're going to talk about all that today and how you can develop a plan. It will work for you if you work for it. If you work for it, it'll work for you. If you don't, and if you don't learn how to do it right, whew, it's taken me, it's cost me millions of dollars to be able to sit here and teach this course, okay, literally. I have made and lost and been stupid. I had no mentor, no trainer. My best thing that I have to offer to you guys today is real estate mentoring, okay, training and mentoring. We've written these books, we've written these tapes, we've done all this, we know how to do it. We made all the mistakes. I can tell you that. We made all the mistakes and we learned, and I'll share something with you today that's a life-changing form. okay, in this business. So this is why I start with the 40-30-10-10 plan. You will be shocked when you don't cheat. Put everything down, okay? Go back through your checkbook, figure out what you paid, see which category it fits in. If it fits in the house and you're eating it, or you're drinking it, right? Or you live in it, okay? Or you showered in it, whatever, it goes in that number one. Number two is if you have a car and you have a car payment, we're going to show you how to get rid of that. We're going to show you how you can have a car on the house, how you can send your kids to college on the house, how you can do it, and you can do it on the house. Okay? Sounds crazy, doesn't it? You know what? We do a lot with affordable housing. That's what I love, and that's what I do. Now, affordable housing means a lot of kids, young people. One out of five, if that many, can get approved. Not 1 out of 5, not even 1 out of 5. They send us their information, I send it to the mortgage company, they do their credit check and so forth. But they go out and they buy that big truck or that big car, and they saddle themselves with that before they buy a house. Don't let your kids do that. Don't let your grandchildren do that. Get your kids into this program. Everybody can do this program. The children, you think about your little children. You get them, you give them $10 or $20 or whatever. You make them give $1. You insist that they give $1 to help somebody else. Somebody has to help somebody else. Okay? That's a godly principle, not something Terry came up with. That is a godly principle. All right? We have to help somebody else. So if you're willing to help somebody else, then I believe God's going to just come right down on your life and help your life, okay? So 10% for savings. Where's that? What are you going to do with that money? Get it away from your purview. Do not spend it. Don't. It's not for you to, but it's to teach your grandchild. If you put that $1 in there, honey, Granddad will put $1 in there with you, okay? We're going to help you build your own future. Right now, you're going to start from the time you can know what $1 is. Do it. I don't care how pitiful it looks on the start, do it, okay? I've got some of my grandchildren, I pay $25 a month into an annuity for them. And it's amazing. I got one with special needs, and we do that for her, and it's amazing. And just within 10 years, how much money that's accumulated to be, and never take it out, and it gets interest and so forth. Put it away. Put it away. I don't care how poor you are. Put it away. It's got to be part of the plan. And the spending. When you do this business, I'm asking you to do something about it. When you make money in this business, I'm asking you to do it. Involve your whole family. Write that down. That's the most important thing you can do. Involve your whole family. Involve your family. Make them a party of it. Take a trip to Disney World, whatever suits you. But you know what? If you spend more on 40 and 30, and you have nothing to give in tithe, God's not going to bless your income. And if you don't have any money to save, probably not going to have any to spend. Okay? You're probably not going to have any money to spend with your family. So the whole idea of this concept that we teach, we could teach like everybody else. Oh yeah, go do this and flip it, and we'll go and get rich and blah blah blah. We don't teach that at all. We're going to teach you the hardcore way to do it, the right way to do it, in our opinion. Okay. So when you hear people say, oh, I don't want to get a real estate license because you have to disclose. Friends, if you want to disclose, I don't want anything to do with you, okay? If you're not going to be honest and fair and upfront, I don't want anything to do with you. Because eventually that's going to crumble on you. So we disclose. We're glad to be realtors for 54 years, okay? I'm the senior member of this local board of realtors. I started in 1965, and I've been a realtor ever since. And so I can only tell you that at that time there were only 15,000 people that lived in the city of St. Augustine, and 15,000 more that lived in the whole county.
Yeah.
Ponte Vedra was a nothing, Northwest Florida was a nothing, it was a nothing, okay? It was a nothing. So I'm just telling you a lot of stuff. But that's why I'm spending so much time on this, because I feel like if we don't get this, we don't have a plan. Let's leave here today with a plan. If we have a plan, you can judge it you can judge it. I went home and I did this to my wife. oh my God, we're paying too much money for this house. Okay? We didn't have any car payments, but we had a house payment. And we had a house payment that was out of sync. Of course, with my income, it was like this, but it was out of sync, you know, and I thought, oh goodness, let's get a hold of this. This is not rocket science, this is facts, dealing in reality. So, before y'all got here, I told some of you, I just had a stent put in my heart about a month ago, which times 3, but now I have AFib. Well, AFib, what it does is it speeds up your heart rate. Mine right now is 102. It's supposed to be 50. Okay, so no, I'm not going to die on you. Anyway, I just love this. Anyway, I love this business, as you can tell. We'll move on to something else. Welcome to the world of successful real estate investing. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means I don't have any money, but I want to do it. That means I don't have good credit, but I want to do it. That means anybody can do it, right? If you got the right team. So, out of the 25 projects that I have going on right now, I have no money invested in any of them. Okay? I have this office, which is expensive, and you know, we operate this, but the partners I have, we all trust each other, and we're successful with this venture. And so this is how you do it with no money. And you learn to do it right, you learn to present it right, you learn to put it together right, and whenever you learn that, then you will find the money. The deal will find the money if it's a good deal. You can find the money, okay? If you know how to structure it and put it together properly. So, out of the power of the PDP system, what does that mean? Can y'all see my block?
No, I can take it.
PDP system means pre-foreclosure, during foreclosure, and post-foreclosure, okay? We wrote the books. We put together the training. We did the research. My daughters learned how to do this research in the courthouse. The guy from Arizona now I was telling you about, we gave him those leads. He knocked on the doors. He found the deals. He found people that wanted to sell. These people have to do something. When that list pendants is filed, they have 20 days, from the time they get served, they have 20 days to file an answer. They have to do something, okay? If not, it's going to come out to the courthouse steps in about 60, 90 days or whatever. If they don't defend it, if they don't file an answer, if they don't file a response, the PDP system, in my opinion, is the best thing I've ever seen. Anybody can learn how to do it once we teach it. This is why I'm talking about integrity, all right? My secretary's been with me 35 years. My bookkeeper's been here 40 years. Now, we're just a bunch of old folks here, okay? But truly, this is Kathleen Barnard in the back here, and Kathleen teaches the real estate
Another
school.
old one. We've been around.
Kathleen teaches the real
But I'm the
estate.
teacher, so if any of you have any interest in getting a license, this young man just passed his end of course, and when he started the course, he looked at it and said, oh Lord.
That's what we all say.
So,
Here's another student, and Jerry is another student, and Casey. But at break time, just talk to me and I'll let you know, we're getting ready to start class shortly.
all right, just want you to understand what the PDP system is and how it fuels the 10-10 plan and all how it works together, okay? It's an educational process. But what we're saying to you, rather than put up a lot of money up front for this and pay us up front, I hope you can make it, let's do it together. Let's do it together, okay? This is you. I'm going to give you a challenge before we leave here today, and then it's up to you. And if you don't do it, I can't make you do it, you see. But it didn't cost you anything, and that was my main thing. I didn't want anybody to go around and saying, oh, I took this course from him and I paid X number of dollars and it didn't work for me. No. You work for it, it will work for you, I can tell you for sure. All right, so the PDP system, that's the 40-hour training course, all right? You will reap the rewards of it. You learn how to go through the courthouse, you learn how to do it, you learn how to find it, you'll learn how to analyze it, you'll learn how to put it on paper to where somebody else can believe you and invest in you with their money even if you don't have your own money, okay? Now, how to find and buy distressed properties. Here's my challenge. I was gonna wait till later, I'm too excited. If you wanna do business with me on a consistent basis, here's my challenge. I'll invite you to everything we do. I'll continue this training as far as you wanna go, as long as I last, okay? I will give you this benefit of my life's experience with this. If you do one thing, get in your automobile, two of you, it's easier with two, and you drive up one street and down the other. You take a geographic map, up one street, down the other, and you find every vacant house you can find. Okay? Now that's pretty easy, isn't it? One time we went to the Amway meeting, there was a guy there, and he'd gone diamond at Amway, and I thought, he told his story. He got up and he said, I didn't have a car. I certainly didn't have any money. He said, I made a living with my bicycle. He said, I rode up and down the streets and I went to people's houses and I knocked on their doors. And he said, I found out if I knocked on enough doors, I would get an appointment. And if I could get an appointment, I could show people why I believe in this so much that I'm willing to ride my bike and humble myself before these people. I'm willing to humble myself, he said, to make something work. And so he went diamond. I mean, he was very successful in it. Of course, after that time, he's riding around the big motorhome, you know. So, key to finding and buying, I'm going to give you the easiest way to find them. You find them, if you want to work with me, you email them, and Casey Brown is here, and I'll have introduce you to him. Casey Brown works here with me. He's my techie. He's the guy that handles a lot of this stuff with us. Jerry Bowling is here, back here. I'll introduce you to all of them. Jerry's one of our realtors, okay? And I think I introduce you all to David Nails, who's doing the videoing for us. And we'll have this video, and if any of you want copies of it, we'll be able to give it to you. But just ask you not to give it to people that don't deserve it, okay? Because I'm going to give it to you because I want you to deserve it. And I'm not going to give it to people that won't use it and deserve it, okay? I mean, that's... So, how to find and buy distressed property, I just told you. Get in your car, drive up and down the street, get 10 addresses. That's all I need. Addresses. Get 10 addresses. Let's assume that you send some and it's on somebody else's list. The person that sends it first is protected. Okay? So that means get off your duff. Go have fun riding around with your significant other, and let's get this done. This is not hard. This is fun. This is absolutely fun. Now, when you send them here, what are we going to do with them? We're going to put them in an email list so that if you want to know where you stand in the email list when you submit one, it'll be on the list. It'll be in chronological order as we receive them, okay? I just have to be fair about it. And so some of you will be in the same zip code, some of you won't be in the same zip code. If you're not in the same zip code, you have no competition unless you don't do this. And then we have another class, and I get somebody else in your zip code. Okay? Anyway, I want to expand our business. Now you say, why in the world would you want to expand your business? I don't know, I'm having fun, number one. But number two is I feel like I can touch a lot more lives. Not just me, but you. I can teach you how to touch lives. Do the real estate business. I can't tell you another thing about anything else. I don't know anything about anything else except this. And I learned everything the dadgum hard way. And so today we're talking about distressed properties. I just gave you a challenge. We'll meet again. We can set a date before the day's over. We can meet again here. And we'll take you to the next level. And the next level is how to look it up and how to find out all about it. We can show you how to find out all about the property. Okay?
How can you tell for sure it's vacant?
Knock at the door. The window.
Knock on the door.
You said peek through the window.
Peek in the window.
There is a way to look it up through your courthouse and your system free
Well,
online,
let's-
public info.
I want you to find it from a visual
Okay.
Yeah.
look, okay?
You're pretty
When
sure
you-
it's
When
vacant?
you look, you're pretty sure it's vacant.
Okay.
Get a lockbox.
And a lot of times you look it up, it doesn't say it's vacant. All right,
Right.
people could have just moved out last
Right.
week and there's
Okay.
nobody knows it's vacant. That's why you on, boots on the ground is so important.
Right.
That you be out there and you do it, this is your neighborhood, and you ride it once a week. If you don't ride it once a week, something else is going on in there, you see,
Yeah.
because, now, you're a realtor. What do we benefit from this? From being a realtor? Most of these people that, if they moved out and they're gone on, your chances of getting a listing or getting an opportunity to buy the property is real. Right? Now, no real estate office is going to teach you what I'm teaching you. They don't want you to know it. And the reason they don't want you to know it is they want you to keep your nose to the grindstone and teach you how to list and sell, list and sell, list and sell. List and sells make a living. I used to have some signs up here that said listing and sales, dimension number 1, teaches you how to make a living. Terry Passetti made a living listing and selling real estate. I would have never owned this property listing and selling real estate. I would have never owned the houses that we own and things that we own just listing and selling real estate. So we learned how to invest in our own product. My God, how difficult is that? You know, you learned how to invest in your own product. I have sold the same houses in my career, some of them 3 and 4 times. And I've had people say, oh man, I hear real estate people. I see it on Facebook, I mean, see it on MLS. Say, oh, it's a great deal. Well, if it's a great deal, why don't you buy it?
Right.
Okay? Why don't you buy it if it's a good deal? Well, you know what the answer is? Number 1, is I don't have the money. That is the first answer.
Yeah.
The second answer is, I don't know how. That is the real reason they don't know how, okay? They know how to sell it, but they don't know how to buy it. And that's what we do. We have a program that teaches both. I encourage both. When I go out and knock on your door and I talk to you and I realize that you need help, okay? I'm a realtor. First thing I do is I hand you my card that discloses who I am, what I'm doing there, and so forth, all right? Also, I'm an auctioneer. We do real estate auctions. I went to Missouri Auction School and learned how to talk fast. And so we sell real estate at auction as well. So anyway, today, started. I expect, let me tell you what happened last time I did this. I got 75 houses sent to me from different people. I had a young CPA couple that were both CPAs here. They sent me 10 that afternoon, okay? They were in Jacksonville, and there was plenty of them where they were. Now, I'm not trying to get into Jacksonville at the moment, but we can. We don't have investors for Jacksonville. We'd have to expand. I mean, I'm very interested in Putnam County, okay? Putnam County, I know it. We had 3 offices over here at one time. My brother has an office over here, Roland Passetti Realty. And, we started the first office together in 1966 there in Palatka, Florida. You know? And so, people are leaving here to go over there because it's got so expensive here. You know?
Right.
Affordable housing over here is very difficult. You got $12,000 and $13,000 impact fees and so forth. Yes, sir.
What's Putnam County? Is that Palatka?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Terry, are there certain types of properties you favor? I mean, is it like the lower dollar amount, or is it anything
Yes,
in your
it's a
mind?
lower dollar amount with us because we have limited investment capital.
Very good, okay,
And
that's what I'm.
what I'm comfortable with is if we spend all the money on one house and it doesn't sell for 6 or 8
Right,
months, you
sure.
have no income out of that
Sure.
house. So we like the lower dollar stuff. It's in and out, you know, in and out, in and out. We do it all the time. Y'all will see me all over Facebook. Go on my page today, join me, okay? I have another page called Homestar Passetti Realty. We have one called Passetti House Flipping Team, okay? We have a number of them, and just let's get to know each other, let's get acquainted, you know, because if we're gonna work together, let's know as much how to help each other. I mean, that's what it's all about. So, folks, we have a retired banker sitting in the back here with us, Five-star, and she's married to a Duke City retired policeman. So, we have another program that we love, and this is when I talk about giving. All right, I'll put one of these on everybody's screen. I won't make sure you get it. Jerry, did you come up with a sign-in sheet?
Yes.
Everybody's got one. No, everybody's got one, but here I want you to see this. About a year and a half ago now, I was watching television. Here's something. I gave one to everybody. I saw something on television that changed, it just changed how I felt. I have 2 adopted grandchildren. When one of them was born, I was fixing to go to South Carolina on a hunting trip. My daughter called me, she said, Dad, she said, the baby is going to be born today. And she said, the woman's in the hospital. She said, I said, hunting trip's off? Let's go. Let's go. We went to Destin, Florida. And I've never seen anything like this in my life, okay? And changed who I was to the better. This woman was 37 or 8 years old. She had a little baby. And the baby was born just before we got there. It was a long ride to Destin, Florida. And my daughter and her husband were ahead of me, and then she was on the phone talking to the adoption agency, and I was following along, and they would call me up and tell me. And so, when we got there, we got in to see the baby in the nursery, and so they came out and got my daughter and son-in-law, and they took them back there and introduced them to the birth mother. And then they came and got me. God, the tears are flowing, you know. So I can hardly tell the story, to tell you the truth. But, so when I get back there, this woman, there's no baby, and she's apparently done this before. The baby's 2 hours old. She's bouncing all over that room. Looks like nothing ever happened, you know. But when she gave us that baby, and she came over and I gave her a big hug, and I thanked her for the gift of life. Phew. There's no other feeling like that. That's it. So a couple year and a half ago, I saw on television that where there were hundreds of homeless children in Northeast Florida. And guys, that got right in my heart. And I thought, where are they? I don't see them. Okay. Eventually, my daughter and them adopted a little boy they could put in their order. She couldn't have children, and so they got a little boy now. He's 11 years old. And so they are the happiest family, and that you'd ever want to meet, ever want to see. And so it's been a challenge. It's been a blessing on both sides, for the child and for the children and for the parents. And one day I want them to meet their birth mothers and get to know that, but they're not ready for that yet. So anyway, I thought, where are these kids? I don't see these kids. I'm around here every day, and I'll never see any little children. And so I put it on Facebook, and people like my good friend David helped us with his marketing ability. And it wasn't long before somebody said, contact this man named Michael Israel. Michael Israel knows all about it. He's a liaison with the school board, and so I got in touch with him, and he came out to meet us, and we had a meeting. And I'm spending some time on this, guys, because this is an important part of where we were a while ago when we were talking about tithing and giving and so forth. This is important. So I just put it out on Facebook, and I had 20 people show up here in the office at a meeting. As we learned about it, we learned at that time there were about 800 homeless children in the St. Johns County school system. In our affluent county, there was these kids that didn't live at home with mom and dad. Okay, they were living somewhere, but they wasn't at home with mom and dad. Well, we thought, my God, where are they? What can we do? What can we do, to help these children? So we had a meeting, and we were out at Denny's at 16 and 95 one night. We had a meeting, and some woman stood up and said, my husband just came up with a name for your group, MESH, M-E-S-H. Y'all find that on your thing, okay? Now, I said, what does MESH mean? Mission to end student homelessness, okay? Our mission is to end student homelessness, to help these kids have a future, help them graduate from high school, to help them have a future. If we don't, we're breeding more problems in our communities. We have to reach beyond our comfort zone. We have to reach and do things so we have to make a commitment. It's making a commitment. you see. So we made a commitment, and I'm really pleased to know, for you guys to meet Mac and Jerry and Tom here at my office and get to know them. They're here every week. We meet Monday evenings at 6 o'clock right here every week. And our whole goal, we have but one goal, and that is to help these kids. There's not any of us that get any kind of funding out of it or anything like that. This is strictly for the children. We're a totally transparent little group, and we've grown, and we've been able to help a lot of kids. And it all comes from donations. We just got donations last week from a local business that was very helpful. And so we meet every week, and you're invited to come to that meeting, because I believe that when you start a practice of giving back to the community, that it goes full circle. To quote my mother, I don't believe you can outgive God. Anyway, these kids deserve it. If we don't do it, they can't help it, guys. You can't sit there and say, oh, the mother was a drunk or what. They cannot help that.
That's right.
They can't help that. That's not their responsibility, And so we can just sit there and hold them hostage because of what their parents do, or we can be practical. I'm expecting that infamous phone call. How to find and buy distressed properties. I just told you how to start. Just start. Otherwise, you got to go through all the training first, and you got to, just start, okay? When you start, and you're sincere about this, then I can furnish you with foreclosure leads. I can teach you how to do it. Every harvest begins with a seed. What am I doing? I'm just planting seeds, guys, today, but I'm planting a bunch of them, and some of them are going to grow. Some of you probably aren't going to do anything with this, but if you want to, it's here for you. That's the point. So all I can do is plant the seed, all right? And I can nurture it, and I can water it, and I can feed it. And if you guys come back and we can work together, you'll see that in action. What we plant and what others plant in us are the powerful seeds of words. That's all I'm planting today. I'm giving you some books, but basically what I'm giving you is information and opportunity and encouragement to do something about it. Let's do something about it, okay, today. Now, Mr. Gorski, oh man, this is the kind of an off-color joke, guys, but maybe you can probably handle this. Mr. Gorski, there was a little boy that lived next door to Mr. and Ms. Gorski. Mr. and Ms. Gorski were an old couple, and they were fighting constantly, and the kids could hear them cussing and screaming, and the kids are out there playing ball. So they hit a ball, and the ball goes right over by the window of Mr. Gorski's house. And Mr. Gorski, little kids heard Ms. Gorski say, sex, you want sex, you'll get sex when that little boy next door walks on the moon. So when, I think it was Neil Armstrong walked on the moon, he said two things. The little boy's name was Neil. And Neil Armstrong said two things. He said, giant step for humanity and blah, blah, blah. And he said, good luck, Mr. Gorski. Anyway, he walked on the moon. That was the highlight of it. All right? Then with this business, you have to think outside the box. Two women apply for a job. Okay? They look exactly alike. On the applications, they list the same address, same name, and the same phone numbers. They were born to the same parents. Everything about them would suggest that they were twins. But they were not twins. They were two of triplets. It's just what a smart friend put all this for this. I got a friend named Marty Sterling, lives in Palatka. He worked for the Water Management District. He wrote these books for me. We sat for hours and hours and hours, and he would make up an outline, and he wrote the book. He wrote my personal book. All right, he and I co-wrote it, but I gave him information, and we started, and he made an outline. And he said, he told me, once I got through telling the story about what we created, he said, I will write you a book. I said, all right. So He did. Here's where you want to be. Where are you now? That's why I put that up there first, about the 40, 30, 10, 10, 10 plan. It doesn't make any difference where you are. We're going to talk about how to fix it, but now we're going to talk about how to develop that into something. Where do you want to be? I don't know. I don't have a clue. How will you get there? I can say I have a good job, I'm going to make some money, I make a living, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I go back to the 40, 30, 10, 10 plan. How's it working out for you? How's it doing for you? Okay? Why do you want to flip houses? I want to make more money. No. Specifically, what do you want to do with it? What do you want the money to do for you? If the money's not going to do anything but make life worse for you, then please don't do it. Because if you don't have a plan, and that's why it started where it started, it's going to be a nightmare for you, or it could be, okay? Please don't take that approach to it. So, where are you now? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Take 5 years. 5 years of my life, so it's going to make a huge difference. Okay? The old doctor came out of the room, he goes out and talks to my parents. He said, to my kids and my wife, he said, well, we can put a stent in. He's got a blocked artery in the widow-making artery. And he said, we can put a stent in it, but he wanted to know if open heart surgery. And they said, is he capable of making his own decisions? I mean, the doctor's out there talking. So he comes back in and asks me, he said, would you prefer open heart surgery? He said, that stent's probably going to only last 10 years. Oh. I'm 78 years old. Anyway, I'll take that chance anytime. How will you get there? Today we're going to get there. Okay, we are going to get there. If you're as committed to this, you getting there, as I'm committed to you getting there, then we can get there together. Okay, you can do it without me, or you can do it with me. Doesn't matter to me. It's up to you. Not my choice. Here's what we learned, and I learned this. This was probably the most important thing I learned. But Jerry, will you go out and check, see who that is? Please. We know this about life, and I learned this. If you'll find your why in life, I want you to go home this afternoon, and I want you to write down your why. It's Tom.
Excuse me.
He's one of our teammates. What is your why? Why would you do this? Why am I doing this? That's a good question. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why am I giving you these books? Why do I pay a lot of money to give them printers, give it to you?
Keep doing that legacy.
My why is different from your why. My why is I want to, this is my legacy. This is it for me. Okay? This is it. This is what I want to do. And so I'm going to do this all over the country. Anybody wants to meet as a speaker about real estate, I'll show up. All right? And reason for it is this has been my life. I've paid the price. I've done everything you can imagine. We've developed subdivisions. You know, I did Prairie Creek, Wildwood Creek, Oak Grove, Sandy Pines, Deerwood. These subdivisions, I did all that with no money. Okay, you did all that without any money. It took money, but I didn't have any, so I had to go do something else. So I'm asking you today to write down your why. Maybe it's your children, maybe it's your grandchildren. Okay. Maybe it's to help the poor. Maybe it's a combination of all those things that we talk about. But there's a reason for it. There's a reason why you're here today. I don't know what your reason is, and it's not any of my business. But it is yours, and until you establish that, then you're probably not going to do this. You're probably not going to follow through with this and do this. If you know, it's a lot to this. Find your why. Is it financial security? Sure. More family time? I hope so. Better lifestyles? Last. Better lifestyles to me means getting out of debt. Okay? Paying off your debt, getting out of debt, getting the pressure out of your life. Finding security. Use the 40-30-10-10 plan. Wrap it all around. Wrap it around, guys and girls. This is a serious opportunity. All right? Rewarding career. It is a rewarding career. Less stress. Oh my God, known about that. But anyway, the whole idea is to get you to where you have less stress in your life. All right? Less stress means that you're not worried about money, and you're not worried about debts, and you can help your family, you can help your children. You can send them to school, you can do things that you couldn't do without this. That's what I'm looking for, is what can't you do without this? What can't you do that you're doing right now? Write it down. Be in one accord. If you're a husband or wife or, a couple or whatever you are, be in one accord about it. This is an important decision-making stuff, that we're talking about. And so far, we haven't talked about anything except ride around and find some vacant houses. You see? And that's all it is to get started. Personal control. That's a biggie. Most of us, most people work in the corporate world and they hate getting up and going to work every day. But they do it because that's what they were trained to do. They went to college or wherever they were trained to do it. Overall well-being, that's an important one. When you get my age, you got a beautiful, wonderful wife, we've been married 40-some years, and she's 14 years younger than me, and so what am I thinking about? I'm thinking about her, and my children all got this. They helped put this all together, all four of them. I have a son and 3 daughters. My son and one of my daughters own a roofing company now. They're doing very well. In fact, they're investors with Dad. Okay, we have three projects going together now. I have an attorney friend. We have 3 projects going with him. All right. I have a friend that owns some daycares. We have 15 or more projects going with him. All right. So they put up the money. We do the work. We find the deal. We put the deal together. We show them the numbers. They have their own approval. Okay, and that's the process. If it doesn't smell good, and I'm going to go over this with you before, we do not do it. Okay, we do not. I can show you exactly how much to pay per house and make X number of dollars worth of profits. My kids put together this. We call it deal killer. My brother calls it deal killer for him. He'd bring us a deal. He thought it was the greatest deal in the world by the time we run it through the process. How he'd be so aggravated. But we made so many mistakes, guys. We made so many mistakes and it would cost us so much money for being not detailed enough. And my bottom line is, leave a legacy. What kind of legacy are you going to leave? You're all leaving a legacy. When you leave here, you are planting the seeds right now to leave your own legacy. What does that mean to you, and who is it for? Mine is for anybody that's interested in what I've done for my whole life. Okay? Yeah. Live your life on purpose. Boy, that's important. Live your life on purpose. Now, we're going to offer you all the opportunity to have video copies of all of this, okay? So, you'll have to listen to me again. Don't trust your future, your fate, or your destiny to chance. Old grandma's going to die one day and leave me rich. I don't have to worry about it. It's just all I got to do is outlive her. Okay? Tell me what the mentality of a whole lot of people is out there. You can't do it. You don't have a day to waste. You don't have a week to waste. You're going to get old and you don't have any time to waste. Okay, that 10% that I was talking about going away, that's important. That's an important 10%. You want to protect it at all costs. You don't want it to where your creditors can get to it, the IRS can get to it, or anybody else can get to it. You want it to go away in case you make a mistake or you get caught with a recession. We got caught with a terrible recession. It bloodied our nose. It kicked our butt. It was tough for us. Even though we know a lot about it, we had no idea that we were in a recession that was ultimately a depression in the real estate industry. So, live your life on purpose. Now, make every tick count. Don't leave it. Don't leave it, guys. Don't do it. Do not do it. Your area, I'm so interested in your area. Okay? And I went down last week and had lunch at Three Bananas.
I saw that.
All right. Terry said he warns, time without a plan is a time bomb. Writing it down and meaning it. Pray about it. Come up with a solution for your goals. It's a time bomb. A time bomb. You wouldn't set a time bomb to go off in your house. Okay? But teach you how to begin to think like rich people. Let me tell you the difference between rich people and poor people. The two brothers, one brother still struggling on making a living, the other brother's rich. Okay? One time when I was down working for the railroad, I was coaching a little league, little football players. I had two little brothers, and they were twins. I had to write their name on the helmet so I could tell them apart. I couldn't tell them apart. So, 40 years later, I bump into one of their relatives that knew them both. And I'm thinking, how are they doing? How are the boys doing? Oh my God, one of them's done great. He's doing great, got a nice family, blah, blah, blah. I said, where's the other one? He's in jail. Okay? What is the difference? What is the difference? Biologically, it's like the triplets. What's the difference? Guys, it's right here. It's how what we think. If you think you think, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're right. You're right either way. So you're going to do whatever you think. And if you don't think it, and you can't conceive it, and you can't dream it, and you can't believe it, and you can't plan for it, it ain't gonna happen. Right? Now, I'm not a negative person, so that's why we're here today. Introduce proven methods of buying and selling real estate safely and profitably. Debunk the myth that you need a lot of money to be a successful investor. You need gas money to ride around and find vacant houses. Okay? If you need gas money this afternoon to do it, I'll give it to you. I want you to do it. Right? Well, that's why I did to the guy in Jacksonville. I drive, meet him halfway and give him gas money. He got rich. Inspire you to never give up on your dreams. You're gonna get some bumps in the road. And if you don't listen carefully to this and you don't follow the system, you are going to get some bumps. Okay? Now, I got a lot of friends that call themselves real estate investors, and they are to a point. They go out and get a contract with no intentions of ever closing. They're only going to sell the contract. They are flipping houses. They're not flipping a house. They're flipping a contract. Okay? Now, they call me up. We buy properties from them. I got to give them credit. They're out there digging for it, and they find it. Okay? So that's one thing we can leave here today. Without a real estate license, you can buy and sell and flip contracts all you want to. We can do it too. We just have to disclose. Do I encourage it? The answer is no. Okay? The answer is let's do it right. Let's find investors and put together the package and sell it. Let's disclose everything that we're doing. Let's don't be dishonest. Let's don't get the gray area. Let's don't be stupid. You'll discover how to make serious money investing in distressed or desirable real estate. How desirable is it? Some are not very desirable. What is it going to take to make it desirable? That's the question. What is it going to take? What are you going to do about it? How much does it cost? I don't know. Right. This is why you can't do this by yourself. You have to be part of a team, in my opinion. Now, we have people that go out and do repairs. If they don't do it good and they don't do it right, you got to do it anyway. You got to do it over. We've had one house that's we're in the third or fourth contractor right now. Okay, and trying to save money. Didn't save any money. It's going to cost us money. But if we make money on that house, we'll be lucky. Okay, and so if you don't make money on one, guess what happens? It takes the profit away from the next one. So when you be done, you got to be tough. Low-hanging fruit. Stress for sale by owners. For sale by owners. Did you read that? For sale by owners. You got it? Got that one down? How do you find them? Riding around, finding vacant houses. Look in the newspaper, see who's selling the house. All right? How do you get listings? Same way. All right? How do you do one or the other? How do you distinguish between whether you buy it or sell it or whether you list it? Repos and REOs. There, you can get a list today from some of us realtors of a list of foreclosures that are for sale. What does that mean? That means HUDs, that means whatever, that there's a source out there of properties that have been foreclosed that are available for instant purchase. Tax deeds. The tax deed king is sitting right up here. Okay? When you can buy properties for 10 cents on the dollar, 15 cents on the dollar. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes. That is a whole course and a study in itself, and that applies to anywhere in Florida, and that any of us can do. We can do that together, okay? We have the research, we know how to do it, we know what it means when we find it, we know how to analyze it, we know how to get to the bottom of it, whether it's a good deal, bad deal. I see people rush out to the courthouse, they're gonna buy them a deal, come home with a easement. Okay, something stupid, come home, something that didn't get wiped out by a tax deed sale, a government lien, whatever. That's why all this training is so important. It's critical to the process. We love this, obviously. Government auctions. I'm an auctioneer. I love it. I love it. Government auctions. What are they selling? Get on the General Services, GSA, General Services Administration. Find out what's selling. There's all kinds of things selling. There's cars selling. There's boats selling. There's everything selling on all of these. Real estate selling. Okay? Probates and estates, oh my goodness. What happens when somebody dies? Who are they gonna give the property to? They don't give it to anybody unless they had a will, they're dead, okay? It's gonna go to the next heirs, all right? What happens there? We have one right now. We have a deal that we're about to buy that is a really nice, double-wide mobile home, a 22 or 2300 square foot house. It's probably worth $150,000 minimum, and we're gonna buy it for $70,000. It's in an estate, the brother and sister fighting like crazy, okay? They're the heirs, there was no will, so it goes to the next of kin. The next of kin, in this case, the man's wife is dead, it goes to the children, okay? Now, children can't get along. Eventually, somebody's gonna buy one of the children's interests and file a lawsuit to petition the property or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, we finally got this brother and sister back together, and we're about to buy the property probably next week. And that is gonna be a real good one. It's a nice house. It's on an acre and a quarter lot. It's a nice house. All right, now, how do we know all this? How do we find, how do you find probates? Probates are a big deal, okay? Probate, let me break this one down. You need a real estate lawyer. Don't tell me about the criminal defense lawyer. I don't care about it. You need a real estate lawyer. I'm talking about somebody that knows the real estate law practices every day. We use one or two of them, but they have the answers and they know how to handle these probates and they know how, you see. We don't buy anything without title insurance, and we don't buy it without a survey, okay? We done got caught in that trap, and that trap will hurt you bad. And so we don't do that. We don't buy a house, we don't buy one of these properties. I would not ask my investor to spend their money on something that we'd taken a chance over $300 or $400. If they won't do that, then they have to sign a big statement saying, I'm willing to take a chance, I hold you harmless. All right? Because it's serious. Probates and estates, big one. So the source of this is huge, the sources. Cash flow, debt reduction, and equity building. Terry Passetti, what are you doing? What are you teaching these people? How to create equities in your life. And you can do it with little or no money. Are you with me?
Yes.
Now, all you have to say when I ask you a question, say, yes, Terry. What do you believe in? No, I'm kidding. This is fun, guys. All right, short. It's a proven system, balanced approach, safety through due diligence. That is a critical statement. Safety through due diligence. Praise the Lord and hallelujah. If you don't do that, don't get in this business. Nobody's going to trust you after you do it one time. I don't care if it's your brother, sister, investor. You just do that, show your ignorance, and you're done. You're through with this business, all right? So I'm just telling you, that's what we learned. We learned. My little secretary sitting at that front desk can research this and I can give her any address. She'll find out if what's owed on it, if it's in an estate. She'll find out if it's in foreclosure. She'll find out what's owed on it. She'll find out all about it in a matter of a few minutes, all right? We used to have a title company years ago, and she ran that. She learned how to do all that stuff, and she's a really good. And she can do it anywhere, okay? It has to have exceptional profits. I just gave you a case scenario. Are we going to make that much money? No. You got to look at the cost to hold it. You got the interest back to the investor. You got to look at the cost to sell it. You see, we're realtors. We're going to get paid, right? We're going to get paid commissions. The investor's going to get paid interest on their money, and then we're going to have some division of the profits, and that's how we make money. That's how we do it. So it's on deal by deal basis. We don't take anybody's money, we don't pool their money, we don't do any of that, okay? We don't do any of that crazy stuff. All right, so one deal, close it out, profits are done. Everything's split. Now, I've done this, Mark. This is usually a friend of mine will do the funny part. And life in the arena. Oh, Lord. That's a real statement, life in the arena. Boy, we got it. Like my good friend back here, the New York City policeman, can you imagine some of the things he's seen? Well, how about the things I've seen in real estate, right? People that we've helped in real estate, people that we have helped ourselves, that we bought properties. A lot of the people, here's what happens with these properties. A lot of people have moved on. I could no more today go take a house away from somebody that they're going to throw their children out in the cold. I got enmeshed. I couldn't do it. Excuse me, that's why I'm not big in the landlord business, because I can't do it. Right? I personally cannot do it. And so, now, we're going to do this by chance or by choice. You can see your future. Now this is a good question. This is something for you to think about. That's why I started with the 40-30-10-10 plan. I want you to look at your present, because until you attack the present and see where you really are, we always put it off, put it off, put it off. We don't want to talk about it. You put that down and you write that down, and you're going to see that we can go in here right now and turn this heat up. It's a gauge. It's a control. We can go turn that heat up, run every one of us out of here, okay? Where we're spoiled rotten, we don't have the heat, we'd have to leave. Or we can turn it up so cold that only the Yankees can stay and the rest of us have to leave. So, it's not by chance, it's by choice is the point. Our choice is to make that comfortable. We don't have to do it either way, we can make it comfortable. But that's a choice, you see, it's a shared choice. We want you to be comfortable here. How reliable is your ride? I mean, with what you're doing now. What investment vehicles have you chosen to take you where you need to go? What are you going to have when you get 78 years old? Okay? What are you going to have whenever you get 50 years old, or 45 years old, or wherever you are? What's the next step for you in securing your future? What are you going to do? Right?
Work with you.
Praise the Lord, hallelujah. Well, this is to my realtor friends. You've closed deals and earned sales commission. Big deal. Don't you think it's about time you closed a few for yourself and built your own tidy nest egg of choice investment properties? This property is going to retire me. You know how much I paid for this property? How much cash I put in this property? Zero, right? What have I got listed for? $1.8 million. All right. Now, does it mean I don't have any money in it? No, it doesn't mean that. It means I had a partner that we bought 2 properties. He was an old guy that had a lot of money, and he wanted to do investments with me. We bought properties. We bought a property downtown on San Marco Avenue. We bought this. Both of them were commercial properties, and this we got from an old gas station. He bought this from a bank for $90,000. Okay, so you can imagine that. So anyway, he died. We didn't have anything in writing.
Oh, no.
Right? But his son-in-law, he had told his son-in-law, he took over his estate, that that was our deal. It was, I would get half, you know. We'd sell them and we'd split the money. His son-in-law picked up the phone and called me up and said, I know there was nothing in writing, but I know that you had a deal, and I'm honoring it. Now, you're talking about an honorable human being. He said, I am honoring it.
Nice.
He said, the estate needs some money. He said, I need us to put them both on the market. Whichever sells first, you can have the other one.
Oh.
Praise the Lord and hallelujah. So I ended up with this one. The other one sold, and I ended up with this property. I've had it probably 20 years. You know, so we're here, and I do have a mortgage on it. I did make payments. You know, I had to back from this, had to give them their money back. You know, but anyway, just telling you how things happen. That wasn't the call I was looking for. So, to my realtor friends, I love you, but don't be dumb all your life. That'd be nice. Be smart, is all I'm saying. Is you gotta invest in your own product. And if you don't know how, it's because you haven't been trained. I'm an auctioneer. I wrote a book called Auctions of the Week. How anybody can use auctions method of marketing. Every realtor can use the auction method of marketing, but they don't know how. There's never been any training for them, so they don't know how to do it. All right? So anybody can sell their property in Florida at auction. You can sell your own property as an individual. You can sell it as a realtor, but they don't teach you that because focus. All right? So control your focus. But most of the brokers don't know it either. So we're going to use an all-inclusive system. We're long-time realtors, but for years we failed to see the forest for the trees. And when we did, we didn't know what it meant. We didn't know how to do it right. So, oh, smart Terry, he's going to do it anyway, right? Talking about those millions it cost me to do here. The low-hanging fruits, distress for sales, foreclosures, we're going to do this one. Tax deeds and different options. Pretty and ugly houses. The house is ugly. My wife says, I don't want to live there. I didn't say if you'd live there. This one we buy and fix and sell, okay? We helped the neighborhood, we cleaned it up. Real estate's a perfect business when you think about it. Everybody has to live somewhere, all right? Everybody has to live somewhere. It is a conservative business when you think about it. We're talking about investing in a product that ultimately is going to help somebody have a place to live, right? We can do that or not do it. That's up to us. But the fact is that, do I like it? Well, obviously. And offers unlimited income possibility. Anybody can do this, and anybody can get as rich as they want to be in this business. Is that a joke? No. Ask my young friend from Crescent City, Florida. Okay? Ask him. Ask him what this meant to him. He sent me a text on his 34th birthday. He said, Terry Debbie, you changed my life. And I said, no, you changed your own life. He said, no. He said, the 10-10 plan changed my life. He said, when I mastered the 10-10 plan, he said I had enough income that I was secure. And from that, he could do anything he wanted to do. He did it, but he did it, okay? But he got it. He got it from the very first house he bought. And so, I look at my own career, and you think about this, some of you there's, a little bit over 40 or 50. If I would have kept every house that I lived in, just the ones I lived in. I bought the first house over at St. Augustine Beach for $8,000 in 1965. All right, little 3-bedroom, 2-bath, concrete block house. Now, had I kept that house today, it would be bringing me in $1,200 a month rent. Okay. If it had a 30-year loan on it, it would have been paid off years ago. When the people talk to me about renting versus buying, don't even try it. Don't even try it, okay? You can rent to your heart's content, and you can throw them rent receipts right out the window, and 30 years later, you're going to still be doing the same thing, and this guy that bought it's going to have it paid for. Okay? Now, you tell me there's not a difference in that. You tell me there's not security in long-term investment in real estate. Don't even try it. Now, we're going to teach you how to pay it off in 10 years. Okay? Now, this is a resilient business. What are we saying? We're saying the economy is soft. Anybody that had the money when we went through this recession to figure out when the bottom was and bought real estate today, they could have made millions of dollars in a matter of just a few years. All right? Bought them, rented them out, kept them, whatever. And at that time you could, because you could almost take over mortgages. It was just so much out there. When it's strong, you can sell them. You collect your money. So when do you make money? When you invest. When do you collect it? When you sell, okay, or rent, or whatever you're going to do with it. So it's a multiple opportunity business. You can tell anybody you talk to, say, I know it works because I heard this old guy sit up there and tell us the stories about it. Anyway, We have a program, and I put a brochure on your desk out there, and it's about our program. You're talking about realtors, and you're talking about commissions, and you're talking about, if all of you want is, as a realtor, is 100% commissions, go work for a 100% company. Because they won't teach you anything else, right? If you want to learn the business and how to build a business and so forth, we were working on, when the recession came, we were working on franchise nets. We'd written this, offering all of these different opportunities. Just suppose you went to work for a real estate company and you got all this training and all this opportunity stuck in your problem. I mean, you know, to cure any problems that you have. And now you make some commissions, you make a living, okay? You make a little more commission percentage, you still make a living. You make the maximum commission, you still make a living. Where did you make the money, okay? Where did you make security? Where did you make your life? Rest my case. We learn how to listen and sell. We do that, we teach that, we big on that, we're pushy on that. Build a business. We came up with a multi-level compensation program in our company that you can go beyond 100%, 200%, 500%. It doesn't make any difference. You can grow your own organization. You can have your own company with Terry Pasetti's blessings, whatever that's worth. But you can do it because we started today. You see, if everybody in this room was a realtor, and I was asking you to come join our company as a realtor, what happened? We exploded the business. You see, you understand what I'm saying? It's an explosive opportunity. Now, Rural Golf Village, Pasetti name. We should have an office out there. We should have 20 agents out there. So there's growth possibility. So anybody that comes along that we can grow with, you know, I'm gonna do it till I quote fall over dead. You know, I've been so blessed with this, I'm gonna share this as long as I live. And I might be, keep checking my heart rate. I'll try to last for the rest of the night. Listen, I meant to tell y'all, we only have one. Let's take a break now for a few minutes. Any of you have to go to the restroom, whatever. We only have one.
Hey Terry, can you go back one clip?
Go first, guys.
Yep. One more, now go forward one.
Yeah, but the little,
Any more?
the little,
Go forward one,
Chart.
the little chart,
the
yeah.
economy with, one more.
What?
I think the
Yeah, what was under that?
Yeah, we can just, yep,
That
that.
one.
What precinct do you live
A bunch. Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Queens.
in?
Yeah, that's the chair. Not very good.
Big Irish there, I believe.
You guys are wonderful. I'm out here on Saturday morning.
No, whatever.
Well, my wife noticed your flattering, so.
I teach Irish there.
Well,
I'm getting ready to put in a dog. Adult dancing is fun. Oh, you should come too. I mean, it's just the social part of it. It's just fun. But where did you live?
Matt, y'all can make copies of
I
this.
lived in
We're
Minneola.
gonna make copies of this.
Okay. We were in.
I wanted my wife to
Syosset.
come to see it, so I'd like a copy for her to watch. I said I wanted my wife to be able to come, but she couldn't, so I'd like for her to be able to watch this.
Sorry?
It's great.
That'd be good.
It's great information.
Yeah. I finally got the medication, the doctor got it right.
Teacher,
and
but it's great
It took me a
information.
couple of days to,
And it's
This is straight
inspirational.
from the horse's mouth.
There's a lot of that stuff.
yeah, that last week I had,
Everybody.
I sit here and tell you how many
No,
mistakes I
yeah.
made this
I don't normally get sick, but when I get sick,
Where are you still
I don't
out
get sick very well, man, it kills me, it knocks me out.
Good. See, take this and-
Jen, I'm so glad you came. Sweet.
Thank you.
So glad y'all came.
Sorry.
Look at that good-looking guy.
I
20
know,
years
look
ago.
at you.
When did you write this?
About 20, 18 or 19. Thank you. I'm really glad y'all came.
Thank you, we're glad to be here.
Yeah. My bathroom is a one, we only got one bathroom. Yeah, we got water, I'm sorry.
She saw what that caused you. Yeah, I know. would you?
Just help yourself.
You're not dependent on anybody else.
All right, we got you.
And you see that with my daughter. If they was late to the people, all the other people who said to me, oh, if you ever need anything, just go in there, if you ever need to.
We used to have a real sit office there. Is that somewhere down?
I thought you had one, did you have one in Pomona? You had a big sign, Pomona Park or no?
Oh, geez, they used to know.
Where it was, it's right in the corner.
Yeah,
Go with the sheriff's work, 309?
Yeah.
no,
Right there, we had an office
Yeah.
there.
no, one
That's
of
where I
them
met
ever said to
Marty,
me,
this guy.
I can't
His mother was a
pay
school teacher there in
without
Crescent
quote
City.
even pay.
The name looks very familiar.
Marty McCoy, Wayne Martin McCoy, Marty.
Oh, I thought this was Sterling, okay. Marty
Yeah.
McCoy.
I promised to do it,
Sterling
so,
was, got retired from water management.
yeah,
McCoy's the young guy that made so much money.
That means you gotta do it.
yeah, well,
Still making it.
you found that out. You found that out, didn't you?
The promise never went away.
No, I mean from the other side. Yeah.
Huh?
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. He went on to be a director of a bank. Yeah,
He's still there? He's at that bank still?
he's there, yeah. He's a director.
Wow. At 37? You said? He's 37?
37.
Unbelievable.
He's been director there for a couple of years.
Wow.
He's made millions.
There you go.
Everybody ain't gonna do that, but he's living proof that
Congrats
all
on,
of us do them.
Oh, yeah.
oh, okay. You passed that?
Our breaks have to be a little longer because we only have one
Look,
bathroom.
one bathroom.
Oh, I think you could do the fourth.
How is David, Terry? I haven't seen him
He's not
in
doing
a
very well. He's struggling, poor brother. I got two brothers. Between the three of us, we've been realtors 154 years collectively. That's the record. I'm the oldest senior member of our board. Dad was president in 1970. My son was president in 2010. Yeah.
I've been wanting to, it's just. Yeah.
There's one thing for certain. Everybody that told me they were gonna come didn't come. It's always
It's a good
the way it
thing.
is.
I saw it on somebody else's site or one site, it was supposed to, it showed 8:30 to 11.
I thought you something else.
9:30.
No, I know, I
I
said,
might have put
I
8.
go, no, I just told her, I go, please tell me it's 9:30 and we're not an hour late. She dropped her glass makeup, was it, it's on the ground and glass went everywhere, and it took us a while to
Better
clean
clean
it
that
up.
up for
I'm
well,
like,
the
oh man,
kids.
now we're late.
I teach Irish.
Pardon me?
I teach Irish.
Do you really? I was noticing your cloud.
Oh, that,
I told my husband, I said,
Oh, everybody gets through.
where do you teach Irish dancing?
well, I'm gonna get, oh, I am gonna finish up place online and try.
Do you have a card?
Not about the dancing, but
It's
just
just,
happen to
give me your
have one.
card anyway, yeah.
I happen to have one.
Now, what made you mention to me that you teach Irish dancing?
Your husband
How
said
do
to
you-
me,
Oh,
you-
okay.
you remarked the ring,
Yes.
but,
I always told
my
you, I want to
daughter-
learn how to Irish dance.
my
you know?
daughter who was hurt, a
A
few years ago,
Yes.
she held all the championships.
Oh.
I was ready to go home to Ireland to be
So what do y'all do
certified,
now?
but she got hurt.
I mean, I'm a mortgage underwriter by trade, but I got laid off in December. I've been working at Home Depot since January 31st and trying to get
If you
something.
like ever have an
in my
adult
field.
class-
How long did you underwrite?
Putting one online.
Well, I did commercial the first 5 years, last 15 I've done residential. I
Yes?
have my FHA
But that's for the social.
designation.
If I
Okay.
have adult
It's been
online,
tough.
second, They'll go
trying to
another
get
way.
in somewhere,
That's
it's
a whole
crazy.
other
Other
way.
way,
It's,
okay.
I've never seen it this difficult.
The
I've
Kelly
never-
dance.
I always had my,
You don't have to
my
have
FHA
discipline
and,
because it's done
I mean, I
just for
could-
fun.
Okay, okay.
I did a job.
Step dancing
anywhere,
is highly, highly disciplined.
I would.
For some reason.
I would like to do.
There's water in there, guys.
I know,
Feel
I
like
think
some,
it's
I'm sorry.
like-
Just
Yes, you
help
can.
yourself,
Yes,
okay?
you
We
can.
are
You just
at
gotta
home.
practice.
Um,
I'm you're older than Terry, so if I can, you
I'm
can.
a professional mom.
Trying to
Yeah,
get
we
her
don't
My
going.
wife does.
I'm only, I'm
She was really
retired
good
in,
at real estate.
one week,
Who's that?
Terry.
Yeah, I
Friday
say the same
was
thing
my
with my wife.
one
She's on,
week, my
she's
first
looking
week
at
from being
properties for
retired
years
by
now,
summer.
every single day.
And I forgot to tell you, I did
I
not
think stay-at-home moms
realize
would,
in those
they would
13
do
years
good
with
at
Barnett
that.
Bailey,
And
Yeah.
they're flexible.
22
Yeah.
at iStar, and I'm on
Nice.
my new project.
You probably beg to differ.
But,
Well, she could probably,
that
yeah, she could drop everything
I
out unless
always-
it's drop a hat
It's
and
so
go
funny this
go
time
property.
again, because
Yeah,
10
kids
years
getting
out
picked
from
up from school
iStar,
at 3 o'clock, whatever than that, you know.
I had this idea in my head, I
I know
don't
when
know
we
if you
bought our
know,
house,
10 houses.
not the first house, but
And my last
the
10
upgrade.
years.
We looked at about 72
But I was
houses,
gonna
and I
rent.
kept a
Yeah.
folder and a listing of every single house this one, just to compare and compare and
She
compare.
really had the folder we saw like years later, we
Yeah.
all laughed.
And even after we bought it, I was still going, I'm like, oh my gosh, did you see this house for sale? And if we weren't in the market, it was just one of those things I went on Realtor every day.
Nothing more than PJ out of the morning going out, viewing and.
So, but I never had the courage to do it, and I
It is
didn't,
fun.
I didn't have the time
You're an
really
agent?
to.
No, I'm a nurse, go painter, I own companies.
That's right.
Father, pastor, youth
He's gonna
pastor.
give us like a really.
What company do you own? What do you do?
Premier painting, it's a
Isn't it?
residential and commercial.
I just, and I love the size of it. Oh, she's
Well,
a,
see,
Sherwin Williams,
I work at Home Depot, that's why I
You
was
work at, where at?
at the new
Of course,
one
you gotta
over in St.
have
John's.
the looks to go with it, that's true.
I do,
And, you know,
yeah,
everybody
I
can't have a
use
plus
Bear a
size.
little bit, and Home Depot tries to get me to go over there a lot, but you know why I don't is the
Sherwin
customer.
Williams product
Now
is
with my logo for my new business.
Oh my goodness, I love their.
And,
my sister's ex-husband, but now current, I don't even know what,
And she was
they got back
also
together. and
championship
he
winner,
always
well, she was.
swore by it.
But that's okay, she's still working.
Yep.
Bear is a good product,
I am.
good people too. I met a lot of
Yes.
people.
I gotta figure
who
it
are
all
in the
out,
store,
you know?
'cause everybody went to that store, it's like it's the crown jewel in like Home Depot's, portfolio. They kind of change, I don't know if you've been in there, but it does not feel like a Home Depot, it does not feel like a, if you ever get a chance, go in there.
I have not, yeah.
It's-
I mean, I'm from Putnam County, so I use Palaca,
Done this
Sherwin
weekend.
Williams.
You
I'm
would
excited.
not know that you were in a home improvement store.
Really? So you already
No, I haven't, I don't even know where to begin
They're
with.
like south side
So,
of
you know, you
the
hear them all different places, but what's a scam and
Dark.
what's not, so I'm
Yeah.
scared to dabber into
You
it.
go into our store, it's bright, airy, it's completely different.
It's about time they started doing that, you know? They have so many
Yeah.
end users going in there.
Oh, that's right, down by us.
Yeah, they put a lot of skylighting in.
Yep.
Brought the roof line down
Okay.
in the store, just make it brighter. And, you know, a lot of natural light in there, and it just feels so
class, actually, they do them all.
Go to like St. Augustine or another one, you feel like almost clustered.
course.
You don't
It's high
feel
cost
like
to
you're in a
get into
warehouse.
it? No. No?
yeah, you don't feel that way.
Yeah.
It's a week-long class,
Yeah.
but it's worth it.
The other one, when he
I
teaches,
could not.
because you got
How many kids do you guys have?
We have three.
Go to week.
I did a
3,
lot,
5, and 6.
I do a lot, I work from home for Apple. I
Our
do a lot of
9/11
stuff on
and
the
just
computer.
turned 14 yesterday.
Yep.
Our daughter went.
Ours are all 2 years apart,
Yeah.
yeah.
During
Ours
that
are all
time, I actually picked up my.
about 26 months
That's
apart.
the perfect
And medical billing and coding at the same time, in about 16 months. So I can do the online. thing.
Anymore than
I
they
don't
kind of
prefer to
lose
do it, and that's
touch with each
one of my
other. They're
biggest
not as,
thing
they have
is,
similar
I don't really see myself
interests.
sitting behind a desk at
Our
home.
daughters
You know,
are
my
like
projected
best friends.
retirement is 2068.
Yeah, we started
I'm like,
later.
do I really want to sit here? Apple's great, the benefits are great, but you know, just the time and the money to be able to
My
invest
youth,
into the
my youth
kids.
would end.
That's what I'm really looking
Couldn't
to
do
do,
any
is
more
have
of
that
the
extra money.
traveling,
You know,
playing,
just staying afloat right now.
traveling,
So
playing
go
ball, all that
above and
stuff. I
beyond
had to give that all, oh, I didn't have to, but, you
Yeah,
know.
I would take that class and ask.
I know.
I had to make sure it was working.
I'm trying to think.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look them up today. I'm ready, we're gonna go look for properties and everything. We're gonna hit the beach for a second.
There you go.
Take
Put
a
some
dip,
of that,
but then it's been a long week.
This one or?
It's actually weird, I
Okay.
can feel that. What's that, biofreeze, what it is? I'm not gonna put some of that on there. Shoulders, it's not fun.
I'm next.
This is not a normal thing.
Oh, no?
Really?
She'd do it if I asked.
There you go. Just
Yeah, it's
take a
better
look.
than to ask.
I know better than that.
Better.
Yeah, it's just, is it tense? It feels like it's under 9.
It's pretty good now.
Yeah, I feel
Well, I
better.
do it here, but so here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any better?
Yeah. A lot better. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You guys about ready? Everybody back?
Yes, sir.
The wheels in my head are spinning.
Are you hearing okay?
So the wheels in my head are spinning all the
Oh, yeah.
possibilities.
All right,
Make your money when you buy it, not when you sell it.
now let's don't make it hard. Let's don't make it hard. Here's what I'm gonna do. David, are we ready? Okay. Here's what we're gonna do today. Today, we're going to work. We're going to work, okay? It's not a bad four-letter word. It's a real word. We're going to work. This is what I know that we can teach the works. It's going to be dependent on you. Then you can depend on us, okay? Before you leave here today, I want you to have one of my business cards off the front desk. I want you to have one of Casey's, one of Jerry's, and one of Tom's. These people all work here with me. And Kathleen's. Kathleen,
Just wanna get your license.
Kathleen has, she's independent, that's her school, not ours. But she teaches it right here in this office. I want you to, what I will do is put each one of you with one of our people. They know how to do this research and they know how to do it, so you're not waiting on me, right? I don't want you to be waiting on me. What I want you to do is them to get the research done. We will analyze your deals and see if it's something that I can recommend to one of the investors, because they don't have unlimited funds. They're just individuals that do this on a regular basis. So only your best deals are going to survive, right? Be like my brother. You'll hate the deal killer for him. But ultimately, it's for your benefit, right? We don't want to do bad deals. Let me go back to something I said earlier. Any of you didn't write this down, write it down, because this is the key. This is a formula. Buy some, sell some. Buy some, keep some. The ones you sell will make you money. The ones you keep will make you rich. Okay? Now,
Say that again?
buy some, sell some. Buy some, keep some. The ones you sell will make you money. And the ones you keep will make you rich. Now, let me give you an example. What makes the 10-10 plan work? Are you going to buy 10 houses and pay for them in 10 years? No, you're not, by yourself, okay? You're not going to do it. Unless you got money, unless you just have a lot of money. Here's how you do it. You buy some and you sell some. You're looking for the ideal property that has no, or low, has very low maintenance. Okay? When you buy a property and you're thinking about keeping it, you better be looking at that roof, and you better be looking at plumbing, you better be looking at electrical, and you better be looking at the exterior and how much paint it's going to be, and your soffits and all that. You better be looking at it and making the right choice. Women, go tell this to my wife, please. Do not fall in love with these houses. These houses,
I want it.
these houses are not for you to fall in love with. This is your future. And if you make silly mistakes because you chose the house because you thought it was a cute little house, you want to choose the neighborhood. You want to choose the area of growth. Where do you think the growth is going to happen? How do you suspect that your house is going to go up in value? What is going to make you a millionaire, okay, or a jillionaire? What is going to do that for you? Okay? Do not fall in love with these houses. When you get to the end, your goal is to have 10 houses paid for. Now, you may be ambitious and you may want that 20, maybe you want it 3. I don't know what you want. Doesn't make any difference to me. It's not my business, it's yours. My job is to teach you how to do it. Now, buy some, sell some. So you buy some and you flip them and you get rid of them and you sell them and you make some money, and that's what we call making money. Now, you get one that's got a 30-year loan. How are you going to pay it off in 10 years? You're going to sell some and you're going to take the profit that you make off of that, and you're not going to spend it. You're not going to spend the extra profit that you make off the house, and you're going to power down the debt. Okay? Where does your debt power start? It starts back with the 40-30-10-10 plan. What does that mean? If you're upside down in those things, and most of us are, you have got to correct it. If your correction is first, part of that 30% may be credit card debts. You got to get out of that. You got to pay that off, right? You got to get rid of that. So where does the money go? The money's got to go to get you got to get balanced. What I found out about this business is a balanced business approach, and that's why I like to teach this to realtors, because as realtors we're going to make a living. Okay, if we work at it, we're going to make a living during good times. But when bad times come, you're not going to make a living. Maybe you make less of a living. So you get used to living on this amount, but all of a sudden you're faced with this amount. What do? You end up in foreclosure like everybody else. You end up in trouble. What we teach is real estate makes a living. Okay? Real estate investments, you can get rich if you want to. Right? That's the difference. That's the big deal. So what I'm asking you to do today is think how we're going to do it. We're going to do this. We're going to take the money that you make, and if you don't owe anybody nothing, you don't have a mortgage on your house, you don't owe anybody anything, go spend it if you want to. But it's yours. But what I'm telling you is how to get there. This is a path this is a direction or path that allows us to get there. You can start today by riding up down the streets and finding vacant houses. Okay. Right, that's simple as the nose on our face. We can do that. That's not rocket science. Anybody can do that. Okay? I was riding around here today, and we got a house, a double-wide mobile home that we moved, and we were waiting for them to set it up. We were waiting. There's a guy parked out in front of it. So I stopped and I said, "You like to buy this house?" He said, "Are you the owner?" I said, "No, but I represent the owner." He said, "No," he said, "Century 21 hired me to ride around up and down these streets and find these houses." I thought, praise the Lord, hallelujah, finally it's catching on. But they're looking for listings. We're looking for listings and the opportunity to maybe to buy something. Maybe when we talk to that owner, they're sick of that house. They don't want anything else to do with it. We just put one under contract last week. It's a nice house, all right? I made the woman sign a statement. Terry Passetti is a licensed real estate broker, and in his opinion, the house is worth more money, but I'm willing to accept X number of dollars. My choice. Sign, okay? That is as upfront as you can be. All right? Otherwise, I wouldn't do it, because they'll come back later and say, "You didn't tell me." Right? We don't want any of that. So we disclose. That's what I'm saying. That's why we disclose. We're going to buy it cheaper, or we're not going to buy it. We're either going to list it for sale as a realtor and make some commission, make a living, or we may buy it with an investor and list it for the investor and ourselves and share in the profit. Do you understand how that works? Now some people call it double dipping. Well, you double, triple, I don't care what you call it, but the fact is that we put these deals together to where they work because of our experience. The investor is willing for us to do that. The investor makes interest on their money. We went to a lawyer years ago and had them draw up a joint venture partnership. So all of these things are, each one individually is a joint venture with a partner, okay? Then we expanded that to include the realtor, so that the realtor could also be the partner, a partner in the joint venture, you see, at some negotiated amount. So now the realtor makes money to bring the deal in, and they get part of the action. And you know, all the investors won't do that, but most of them do. Will. So now the realtor has motivation, multiple motivation. So we're going to make a living being a realtor, and we're going to make money being a realtor because of that. You see, as an individual. but we can wear both hats, but we have to disclose. That's all. Not rocket science, we have to disclose, we have to be honest. All right, not a problem. All right. Casey,
What's it doing?
I don't know.
Nothing, that's what we need.
What did I do, Casey?
Hit space bar.
Huh?
Hit the
Space bar.
space.
Space bar. No?
All right. Casey is the man.
He did.
I'm not gonna be either.
No, you gotta let us talk about.
Youth is a beautiful thing. And brains.
Becky was good too.
There you go, on to the next one.
All right. Now, what kind of magic was that? Thank you, Casey. And Casey's an integral part of our team, okay? We do mobile and modular homes. And he works with the customer, and he makes all those selections. He deals with the factories and the dealers and so forth. And he does that in our company, and quite well. So part of what we do is new mobile and modulars. We buy the mobile homes, we put them on lots, we package them up and sell them. We got the best financing, we got 0 down, we got 4% grant down payment assistance programs. We stay up with all the financing, we know how to do it. And we know, we can really help a customer. We get a customer, the first thing we do is send them to the mortgage company and get them pre-qualified. We don't send them to their friendly mortgage company because they may not do the programs, you see. So we stay up on who does the programs, who does the 4% grant. The 4% grant is a gift. It's a down payment gift. What does it require? It requires a 620 credit score. That's a low credit score for the grant programs. So, but they have to meet all the other underwriting requirements as well. So, anyway, I want to just go through this with you. We started here, and there's an equity sharing. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about creating equities. We're talking about building equities today. Equities which can convert to cash if you sell the product. If you don't sell the product, the equity is there. If you don't create equities, it won't work. You'll blow your partners out of the water. You don't like anymore. Property management. These are all things you can do. You can be an equity creator, you can be a property manager, you can do a lot of things if you get your real estate license and do this. It's all opportunity. Good property managers do good. Who did the very best in real estate during the recession was the property management companies. They did the best, you see, because people still had to have a place to live. Even if they were getting evicted from their house, they had to go rent something or whatever, they had to have a place to live. Any of you that can do that, my heart gets in the way. I either get too mad or I'm totally the opposite, you know. And so it's difficult for me, but I encourage it. And we would love to have people in this office that wanted to do more property management, frankly. It's a specialty. Once you do it, it is a specialty. What it does, though, it secures your future. It secures your income. It secures your residual income. That's what escapes most everybody, is residual income. Okay, most people do not create something. That's why the people that do the network marketing companies that do it right, they do a good job. And then real estate development. Guys, we teach so much in this office, it's unbelievable. We have so much experience, it's incredible. When I say that, I mean this. I mean between the buying and the selling and the building and the flipping and the development. We've got a guy back here that does real estate developments. They just put together a 1,200-acre parcel in Flagler County, and they're clearing the first 250 lots right now. They're doing it right now, okay? And they sell these lots to builders. You know, they sell them to the national builders. And so they've been lined up to buy lots, buying lined up. I mean, there's no problem about selling the lots. But here's what happened, and this is why I've zeroed in on the affordable home program. I did a non-scientific survey on Facebook a while back to determine what percentage of the population in Northeast Florida cannot afford a $200,000 house. And the answer is 65 to 75% cannot afford that, okay? So these national builders are building these $350,000 and $400,000 houses. They have pushed the little guy right out. They doesn't have a chance, you see, in this market. So what they did was it drives their property values, and then our wonderful government increases the impact fees. All right, so now we got $10,000, $12,000, $13,000 impact fees as a minimum on a little bitty house. All right, so it impacts the guy that can afford it the least, the most. That's what happens. All right, which we can all say, well, they have the kids in school. Well, that's all true, but it's all part of the system. So anyway, we won't spend any time on that. But there is so much opportunity in learning what we do that's incredible. I mean, all right, here's where we are. The pre-foreclosure system. What does that mean? Now, you'll hear these gurus talk about pre-foreclosure being any time up to the foreclosure sale. Not true. Pre-foreclosure means before it's filed. How do you know somebody's got something that's for sale? And I'm going to tell you how. You see these little signs around that says, I buy houses? What do you think they're doing?
Looking for that.
They're sifting out people that want to sell.
Yeah.
Motivated sellers.
Huh?
Motivated sellers.
They're finding people that just want to sell. They don't want to list, they just want to sell. There's a lot of people that just want to sell. They want the money now. They want rid of the house now. They want gone now. Okay? Like the lady that's got the house that I got her to sign the statement. That house is worth a lot more money than she's willing to sell it for. That's her business. But I as a professional, had to make sure she was aware of that, because we wanted to do what she wanted to do. Sell it. She did not want to list it and go through the property, the approvals for the buyers and inspections. She didn't want to go through that. She said, sell it for this much money and I can pay my house off. Me and my husband can live free for the rest of our life. She didn't inherit the house 30 years ago. All right, pre-foreclosure, before it's filed. If you want to do this, it's up to you. If you're a realtor, I think you have to disclose that. If you're not a realtor, the law doesn't require it. You can get you some bandit signs, that's what they call them, on some little stakes, and you just say, we buy houses. All right? You will get some calls. And the government will take your signs, and you'll put more out, and you get some calls. And you just have a route. You run your route in your farm area, in your assigned area. Okay, zip code. Just run a route. It's a route. That's all it is. All right, now, during foreclosure, the lawsuit is filed. I've got them around here somewhere. There's been 250 files since November in St. Johns County. Multiply that about 5 or 10 times over in Duval County and Clay County and all these other counties. Are there plenty of properties? You betcha. Get off our lazy duck and go find them. That's all it is to it. I mean, it's not rocket science. And I'm not here today. It's a three-part system is what I'm saying though, guys. If you understand this, pre-foreclosure, how do we find them? We can run an ad in the paper, we buy houses, okay? You can put it on Facebook, which I do. We represent several investors who buy houses and do quick closings, right? Now, they're only going to buy wholesale. They're going to do it. The reason they're only going to buy wholesale, because that's what we're subscribing for them. Otherwise, there's no money in this. You go broke in a hurry. So they're not going to buy it. They're not buying it to live in. They're buying it to fix and sell. We as realtors are taught to deal with people that are looking for someplace to live, but primarily. And they talk about investment real estate, but there's not really much training about it. These people have to do something. Remember, they are motivated. Some of them not too motivated. It takes them a while. Increased potential for maximum profits. Now we're talking about during foreclosure. When that foreclosure is filed, it is public record. Okay? Any human being can go on there and pull out the public records right here. I can have Casey come in here and pull them all up here in 5 minutes. Okay? That is during foreclosure. Pre-foreclosure means it wasn't filed. You can't find it in the public records because it's not in the public records. So you gotta have another way to find it. You run ads in the paper, okay, you ride around and find vacant houses. What do you mean, what do you suppose a house is vacant? You think people just enjoy leaving it vacant? No, folks, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something is wrong. Now, as soon as you find out what's wrong, why the people have vacated the house, a lot of it's due to estates and deaths. A lot of it's deaths. A lot of it's due to no heirs. There's a lot of people dying in this state that have no heirs. A lot of them die intestate without a will, okay? A lot of them. And the older the population gets, the more you see that. We get so many people that, mom and dad moved down here, they got tired of that snow and the ice and so forth, and I mean, a lot of them moved down. And they die. One dies, the other one dies, and whatever. The kids come down here and they walk through the house where they got a box and they put the pictures in it and the personal items, and the rest of it they sell it, they list it for sale. They call in the auctioneer, you get rid of all the stuff in one day in the house and all of them the same day, okay? So there's all kind of things that happen, and that's the estate thing, but that vacant house means something to you, and I want it to mean something to you. All right, we have unmatched power of percentage unique foreclosure lead generating system. We know how to do it, guys. That's all I can tell you, and we learned how to do it. My daughters learned how to do it in the courthouse. They even found a lawyer that would buy them he was a bankruptcy lawyer. He would buy the leads. So they would go up to the courthouse, all three of them, and they would do Jacksonville, they'd go to Clay County, they'd go to all of them. Now, so there's multiple ways to work for this. That's during foreclosure. Here's what happens. It's a process, and this is what you have to come to school to learn. You can learn it the hard way, or you can learn it the easy way, right back in this office, okay? Now, here's what you learn. When the foreclosure is filed, they file a notice of lis pendens, which is for the public to know. The foreclosure is filed, the lawsuit itself is filed, it has to be served on the people. There are two systems of service. One is actual notice, which means you hand it to people, somebody in that property, or you found them, they tracked them down. And it gave them the paper saying, here's the foreclosure, here's the lawsuit. From that day, you have 20 days to file a response, maybe 30 days. But whatever that lawsuit says, and it says it right on the front, is you have 20 days to file an answer, you have 30 days to file an answer, you have to file a response. What happens if you don't file a response? Then you're in default again. See, you defaulted to get into a lawsuit, now you defaulted again once you're in it, and you give up your rights. See, you give up your rights to defend yourself. And if you don't file an answer, and I don't, 20 days is when they say, but they found some of them after that. But anyway, I'm just telling you what the law says. All right. Now, I'm not a lawyer. We can't give legal advice. But
The first part, you said that all money is served with the first.
They served with the foreclosure suit as the actual notice. Now, the people are gone. They can't find them. They can't serve them. They don't know where they are. What do? They advertise it in the newspaper for 4 weeks. The advertisement is the same as if they had served them, okay? Same legal effect. They advertise it before, I think it's 4 consecutive weeks. These are all legal things that you need to learn, and we're not lawyers, and so I'm just telling you basically from the real estate, from our perspective of how we work it. That means that that person has got to do something, okay? If they don't, they're headed to the courthouse steps eventually. It's a process, though. Just because they're in foreclosure don't mean they're going to lose the house. They may get it refinanced, they may get it reinstated, they may sell it, they can do all kinds of things, but they own that house until the courthouse step sale. Don't forget that. Just because it's in foreclosure, realtors, I've had them go out and pull up the signs because their customer got filed a lawsuit, okay? Because they didn't understand. People need them the worst at that point. All right, now, post foreclosure. That's pretty. Post foreclosure. Gone to the bank. It's gone back. What does that mean? That means you may get a listing, you may buy a property, but now the bank has it. Who's typically going to handle that property? They're going to give it to some realtor that they have a relationship with. Typically, that's what happens. Why do you need a realtor? Everyone of you in here need a realtor, okay? Maybe you don't think you do, but you do. We have opportunities that you don't have without us, all right? We know things that you don't know without us. We know it first. We know it quick, okay? We get email lists. Where I'm on the email list, I get an automatic email of every property below a certain price that comes to me, quick. Does it come to me exclusively? No. Anybody else just signs up for it. All right? This is what Casey and them do. They get that program. So we get that. Once it's listed, we get that. All right? We don't get it as a post foreclosure. It takes time. So what do you track it? You track it from the time it goes to sale. You can be at the sale. You can buy it at the sale. You can bid on it at the sale. The sale is a public sale. Okay, you can bid on it. Now they're doing it online. So we got pre, during, and post, and that's important stuff. Okay. Do you think the banks want these properties?
No.
They don't want them, they're going over backwards.
No.
And the courts are not easy on them, okay? The courts are not good to them. Prospecting for gold. You gotta treat these leads like gold, guys. When you go by and look at one of these houses, you have to treat it properly. If you knock on the door and say, oh, it didn't work for me. Knock on 10 doors, oh, this didn't work for me. I'm just gonna give up because it didn't work for me. For God's sake, don't tell me that. All right? Don't ever run that one by me. I don't like that one. All right. I'm going to elaborate here on the 10-10 plan because that to me is the safest place for you to be. You're going to go out and find 10 houses. Okay? You're going to find 10 vacant houses. It's not hard. If you're having a hard time with it, call me. Okay? When you find 10 vacant houses, we're going to follow that up and look them up. No matter where it is, what county, we can go and look them up. We're going to find out what's owed on the house. Is it in foreclosure or not in foreclosure? Now, once we determine that that's a possibility, and we're able to contact the owner, the whole heading of the whole thing is due diligence. Got to do it, got to research it, got to find it, got to make it work. If it won't work for you, it certainly won't work for the customer. It won't work for an appraiser. I mean for the investor. It's got to work. All right. You have to come up with this fair value of that house. Now you got to learn how to do a CMA. You need a realtor. Okay? Do not take a chance on doing this yourself. Get a professional realtor, somebody that's got experience in the business and knows how to do this. We have a bunch of them sitting in that back room back there. They know how to do this, guys. They know how to do the research. They know how to come up with the idea.
What's CMA?
Comparative market analysis. All right. Then we're going to ROI, our way to tidy profits, and the best deals. What does that mean? What is an ROI? It's a return on the investment form. It's a synopsis of your research. It's the analysis of the deal. It's the embodiment of deal killer. Here it is, the deal killer form. What is the deal killer form going to tell us? Now, ROI, your best thing. Go all the way through it. Let's assume that you send us one and none of them work. We're going to tell you why. Why doesn't it work? If it doesn't fit on the deal killer form and the numbers don't work, it doesn't work. Okay. Now, what are we looking at when we're done with this? We're going to show you. We have decades of practical field experience, guys. I love riding around looking for these houses and, it's just, you get it in your blood. You start seeing real estate things you never saw before. You'll see real things that you never even paid any attention to. Let me give you one today. This is so easy. Do not go home the same way you came here. Okay? Did you hear that? My brother David, he couldn't be here today, he's sick, but I gotta tell you, he's the greatest guy, and he works here with us. One day he had this guy, and the guy wanted to sell his house. He had a beautiful black dog, a beautiful dog. But that dog had a fence, and that dog had chased cars up and down, up and down. If you rode by in a car, here comes the dog, and he would chase you, He had dug a hole that deep in that. I mean, he'd done that so many times. So, and the guy rides a motor scooter. So David goes up to see the guy and see if he wants to sell the house because he had advertised it for sale. So David came back to me and said, you know what? He said, I talked to that guy about selling the house, but also talked to him about that dog. That dog has run up and down that fence line and he's dug a hole, And he said, the guy said to me, he said, it's a dumb dog. And he said, I love my dog, but he's dumb. He just runs up and down, he's dug a hole. So David went over and had a talk with the dog. The dog said, my owner is a dummy. He gets on that motorbike and he rides the same route out to Walmart every day. He said he goes out to Kings Estates Road, he takes left, goes to Old Moultrie Road, he takes left. He said he does the same thing every day. And he comes home at about the same time every day. He said that's a dumb owner. So the moral of the story is that we get to be, we form habits. We form them to the point where they hurt us. And I'm asking you to change that for your business now. We're talking about a new business, guys. All right? We talked about the lead generation program, reap handsome rewards. Okay? We've talked about that. We have educational products that can take you to any level in this business you want to get to. Right? We can teach you and train you and work with you at any level. Now, I got to tell you the truth. I'm busy, as you can tell. I'm having some health issues with that. But the fact is that just keep me in your prayers. I'm going to be fine. And we're going to see this through. What we started, we will finish, we'll complete. But the main thing I have to do in my life now is I have to get some of you guys that want to be part of a real team, that want to come in and become team leaders, that want to take this business that I created and I have my whole life in to the next level, because it's getting to that point in my life. My 4 children, they'll never come into it, they're doing fine. And they were all here and we did great together, but they're not ever going to come run a real estate company. They just, out of the 4 of them, they're not interested in doing it. I have 2 of them that work with me part-time, but basically they're not. So there's wide open opportunity sitting here right now for a relationship that may really, really, really benefit some of you. So I'm just throwing that out there for consideration. And I don't want it to die when I die, okay? I don't want that experience. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing today. I want this to benefit you. I want this to be my legacy. I want whatever. And you say, well, that's egotistical, but it's really not, because it's just, I got people here that work with me to help me do all this. I didn't do it by myself. You cannot beat the power of a proven system. You can't beat it, okay? You can create your own, you can embellish ours, you can improve it, you can do a lot of things to it, but you got to have the basics. If you don't have the basics, then you got a problem. So we're going to finish up today with a form, and I gave each one of you one in your book, in case I might need you again.
You doing it again?
Maybe not. All right, in your back of your book, I put a deal killer form. If you don't have one yet, there you go. All right. Everybody have one. If you don't, tell me. It's a 3-page thing. It's 3 pages. This is where the rubber meets the road. Don't tell me it doesn't work, because it does. Okay?
Terry?
Yes.
Yeah. If you look at the top right-hand corner, you'll see page 1 is, I don't know if it's A-leads on page 1? Yeah.
Yeah, ADU.
Page 1?
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Look at first page first. A. Look down the bottom right-hand corner. What do you see?
12,538.
That would be what we made on that deal after we split the property with the investor. Look up above that. Does it say 20,000,
Yes.
19,000?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That is the anticipated profit on this deal, based on massive research. On the left are all the costs.
right.
Okay? This is the analysis. Here's what people do though. You techies don't get the paralysis of analysis. Okay? Don't get it. It'll drive you nuts. You won't ever get anything done. Analyze is good. Get the numbers done right is good. Look up to the top and see what we paid for that property on the left-hand side.
27,000.
Now, would you think you could buy a $62,000 house for $27,000? But if you change any number on that left column, it changes the bottom line on the right column. We have this live, okay, where you can go in there and change it on your computer, and literally, you can tell, I told you could tell what to pay for a house, you can tell what to pay for a house. Right? Now, you can't tell that until you do your due diligence, but you start with a CMA. Now, if you do a CMA and you get 3 variables, you take the highest one or the lowest one. We try to take the middle one. Okay? You may, in the end, offer it to the highest price, and if you do, you'll make a little more money. But if you offer it the lower price, you're gonna make less money. You see, so right away. Now, there's some things that's not on this form that we have to change, update. It is community fees and, things that you're gonna bump into that, form needs updated, regular. Anyway, I want you to be aware of everything. When you go down that left-hand column, you'll see that we had cost to buy it, we had cost to fix it, we had cost to maintain it, we had to mow the grass, paint. You see all that?
Yes, sir.
Okay? Now, that is a result of the due diligence on that study on that property. And when you can do that, you can do this business. And until you can do that, you better run for help. Okay? Because when you can sit down with the investor and show them that you did that due diligence, and these are real numbers, and you have real bids from the contractor or whoever's going to do that, no, you're not going to do it yourself. No, you're not going to paint it. No, you're not going to fix it. If you do, you're going to have to do it under the guise of that contractor. You're going to have to, under the guidance of a contractor. Don't do it any other way, okay? Now, if you're going to keep it, you can do whatever you want to, but if you're going to spend somebody else's money, you have to get it right, period, okay? I'm not telling you don't try to save money, because I am. I'm telling you that. But you have to have real numbers on this form. If you don't, the bottom line of that is going to shrink, and when it shrinks to the negative, guess what happens? You have lost your investor, and you're done, okay? Now you got to go start all over again. This is so brand new to all of you. I'm telling you now, now's the time to make your track record. Do it right, okay? Do it right, please. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
You understand why I don't jump into it and, oh, we're gonna run out here and buy us a house and, no, we're not. We're gonna get a contract on a house subject to our due diligence and approval by our principal, okay? We're gonna put all the subject tos into the contract that we can to protect us, but for a certain period of time. So if you're an owner of a property and you're willing to sell it for X, we want enough time to do the due diligence. Is this good?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's unusual, isn't it, to think that in a real estate office that we can do either. We can do all kinds of things. And that's the power of us working together with family and friends and customers and investors and everything you can imagine, and making all the mistakes and getting our nose bloodied, and and we got it good in the recession. We had too many properties, we had too much money, so I made up my mind to not sign any more notes. I'm not buying anything. I'm not buying anything. I'm buying it with my investor, and this is his responsibility or hers, and this is mine. I accept our responsibility completely. If we lose money on one, we're going to take it, we're going to give it back on the next one. We're not going to ever cheat or beat our investor, never, ever, ever, okay? I'm not saying that mistakes don't happen in this business, and we cause that to happen, that they do. What does that mean to us? Does that mean the investor lost and we're okay? No. No, 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 all right? We're gonna be good partners. We're gonna be good realtors, good partners, good friends. We're gonna make something happen. Now, I want to spend a few more minutes on the attending. Now, you go out there and you do this and you bring it back and we do it, okay? We work out our together deal, and you make money. We all make money, you make some money. You take that money and you start working on that 40, 30, 10, 10, 10 plan. That's the beginning and this is the end. That's the beginning and this is the end, okay? You understand where we are today? We started with that on purpose. We're at the end down here now, I'm gonna make some money. From all the things that we talked about, we're gonna make some money. Now, if you take that money and you will power down the debts in your life, you will start to feel the stress leave you, all right? Now, you're not ready to own houses and buy 10 until you get this done. As you work through this and you learn the process of that, then you start to pick that house, not the one you girls fall in love with, but the one that's going to bring in the most rent. It's going to cost the cheapest to operate it, okay? Make it function. You're not going to buy into a roof that needs next year because you're talking about $10,000. Where's it going to come from? You're going to set up your rental program to where when you do it, that you put money in. You got to have an account. You put money in it for the taxes. You put money in it for the insurance. Okay, you put money aside for that because out of every time you get money, you rent. You put money aside. You put money aside for your property management. You put money aside for everything that you know that you're going to be faced with. If you've got a 5-year roof, you know you're going to be faced with that 5-year roof. Where are you going to get the money? That's going to rob you of your joy. It's going to cause you to sell the house. It's going to cause you to wholesale it. It's going to cause you misery. And I'm inviting you not to have misery by making a plan. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sir, I think I'm okay. No, I love this, as you can tell. And so this has been my whole life. And I'm just fortunate that I got started when I did. And I've been blessed that my kids and I and people that I've had here, we're so ambitious to put together something that's going to last way beyond we're gone. But it's only going to last with people that can take it and teach it to somebody else, okay? So what I'm asking you to do, let's build a team. Let's build a team, let's build our individual teams, let's put this together. Because there's safety in numbers for this. You know, we could go around this room today and each one of us put up $100 and we would be a company. We could form a company this afternoon. We could be investment group today. Investment Group A before dark. You realize that?
Yes.
You realize the power of what we just did today by just making friends? So, 10 of us put up $100 a piece, we'd have $1,000. We had $1,000, you think we could buy a house or get a contract on a house? Yes, absolutely. In fact, we get 10 houses with $1,000. We could put up a deposit on a house. How much are we going to lose? Well, depends on how we write the contract, but we may lose $100.
Right.
Now, if we get 90 days to close on $100, you think we created some leverage?
Yes.
Oh my God, I rest my case. Yes. So the point is, maybe we got that same contract for $10, $15, $50. So it's leverage. That's the power of the real estate business, is a leverage business. You see. Now, do we sometimes buy a property subject to the mortgage? Yes, we do. What does that do? It means we got one right now that the people owe X number of dollars on it. Right? Now we have a choice. Our investor can pay that off, and you've spent $100,000 maybe, or you can pay $10,000 to catch up the back payments, and reinstate the people's credit for them at the same time and make a few payments. What did you do? You helped the people. You reinstated the mortgage. Now, do you want to own it that way forever? No, it's called subject to the mortgage. And eventually the mortgage company's going to say, no, you can't do this. But I'm just telling you ways to get things done. Why anybody can start in this business. Okay? Now, y'all think about it. When do you want to meet again?
Saturday.
Tomorrow.
No, I'm serious. When do you want to meet again?
Saturday.
Next Saturday would be great.
This is who gets invited. Your 10 houses.
Ah,
Okay. You gotta have 10 houses.
My whole thing today was 10 houses.
Right.
Okay? I want 10 vacant houses. Email? Yes.
If there's a sign, this may be a stupid question, if there's a realty sign in the yard and it's vacant, that's off, I mean, that's not, you want one that's not listed or anything.
We don't care, we'll see what it's listed for, okay, but that.
So it can be
that-
listed,
Huh?
it can be already listed with a realty.
That'll be 99% that won't work.
Right, that's what I'm just clarifying that with everybody too,
It's
like,
good to know.
The reason
needs
for,
to
the
be
reason for
vacant.
that is their obligation typically, the typical obligation for a real estate agent is to get the maximum price for
Right.
the seller, okay? Now, sometimes that is really not well thought out by the realtor.
Right.
That person may be in trouble. They may, you know, we get them sometimes, they just want to sell, they want to get gone and they want, you know. So, we go to the bottom line right away. What do you take? What is the maximum, what will you take? You know, we're not trying to set the price for you, we're gonna tell you what it's worth. What will you take? Like the lady I was telling you about, she's gonna get the money off her house. 30 days, she'll have a home that was paid for, because she had one that was paid for that she didn't want. Excuse me, she was willing to sell. Now, primarily, these will be houses that are neglected. If you live in an area, World Golf Village, you're not gonna find a lot of them, there's some out there. But what I do have in the World Golf Village and all up in that area is I have foreclosures. We have leads, we have information. Some of those people have gone on, they've moved on, all right? They don't care about the house apparently. Maybe they filed bankruptcy, whatever, you know, they made it available. So, I just want you to, Tom, I want all y'all to come in here, I want everybody to meet you, get to know all you guys, please. Tom and Jerry.
Yeah,
I'm
Tom
going to
Jerry.
have each one of you with one of these groups, one of my guys, so that I make sure you get the attention that you need, okay? They know how to do the research. Tom and Jerry and Casey, all right, all work here as real estate agents with us, but they're also very experienced and good in the computer system. They can bring things to me on a regular basis that I won't be able to you know, to answer y'all on, maybe sometimes like I should, and especially with, you know, what I'm going through. But anyway, I just want y'all to know that love is forever. And what you do in situations like this is, you really come out of here with a different feeling for people, I hope, you know. And my family name is important to me. The Passettis and 1700s on Passetti Road, and since the 1700s, that's all important stuff to us, you know. So that's why I don't want to ever spread anything but good stuff. And so, I just thank you for blessing me by coming today. You blessed my life.
Thank you.
Before you go, if there's anybody who wants to take the real estate class, we're gonna start a week from Thursday. I need you to come in before that, give me a deposit so I can order the book. Pardon? But I need you to come in, just either text me or call me, let me know when you come into the office, and I'll be here.
Ready to start another new career?
Okay?
Yep.